useless, a barren field, a goddamn dead end. Do you know what you are, Taylor? You're a fucking curse on this house. The words, sharp as shards of glass, came from Eleanor, my husband's mother. What are you crying for? Stop it. Shut your mouth this instant, she spat, her perfectly manicured nails digging into the marble countertop. You will listen to me. You will be a good, obedient girl and let my son, Raymond, find a new wife. Do you hear me? My voice was a thread, barely audible. Eleanor, please, can I just say one thing? No, not a word. I've made my decision. A wave of desperation, cold and sharp, washed over me. Then, if you don't want me as your daughter-in-law anymore, please, just let me go. Let me leave. She let out a short, barking laugh. It was a sound stripped of all humor, all warmth. Leave? Are you dreaming? You really think you can just walk out of this house? Her eyes, cold and dark, narrowed on me. Who do you think is going to pay back the money I spent on your parents? On the doctors, the hospital bills, the goddamn funeral that I arranged so they could have some dignity? You think $50,000 just disappears? No. You will stay in this house. You will live here as the help you were always meant to be, and you will work off every single cent of that debt. My tears were hot now, blurring the image of her cruel face. I've been here for 2 years, Eleanor. For 2 years. I've lived like a servant. I've cleaned your floors, cooked your meals, endured everything. Hasn't that paid for anything? $50,000. You stupid girl. Not 50 cents. You think 2 years is enough. 20 years might not be enough. Do you know why? Because it wasn't just about the money. It was a debt of gratitude, of decency. This family took you in when you had nothing, when no one else would even look at you. You are not allowed to be ungrateful. I am grateful. I swear I am. Then shut up, she screamed, her voice echoing off the stainless steel appliances. You will quietly become the maid of this house while Raymond gets married. You will not breathe a single word of protest. If you do, that little house your parents left you, the one you treasure so much, I have the deed. I'll sell it to pay off your debt, and we'll see where you go to light your pathetic candles for them then. The threat struck me harder than any physical blow could. Please, no, don't. Don't touch that house. It's all I have left of them. It was their whole life's work. Eleanor leaned in close, her perfume cloying and suffocating. Then if you treasure their life's work so much, she whispered, her voice a venomous caress, you will sacrifice your own. Do you understand? Just over 2 years ago, my world had collapsed. Both my parents were diagnosed with aggressive cancer, months apart. I sold everything we had, everything. I borrowed from anyone who would listen, but it wasn't enough. And then Eleanor stepped in. She didn't just lend us money for the experimental treatments. She arranged for hospice care that was gentle and dignified. She made sure their funeral was beautiful, and then her son Raymond proposed. There was no whirlwind romance. There was no love, but there was a crushing sense of obligation in my heart. I was utterly alone in the world. I saw his family as a harbor, a place to anchor my shattered life. So, I said yes, and my nightmare began. Raymond was a man of passing fancies, a butterfly flitting from one woman to another. He never hit me, never raised his voice in anger, but his infidelity was a constant, quiet humiliation. Eleanor, his mother, was the storm. She was sharp-tongued, volatile, and saw me as her personal punching bag for every frustration, every minor annoyance in her life. With my parents gone and a mountain of debt binding me to them, I became their puppet, my strings pulled by their whims. Tonight, after cooking a dinner I knew I wouldn't be allowed to eat in peace, I waited for Raymond. He ran his own small contracting business, a venture funded entirely by Eleanor, which meant his hours were erratic, sometimes early, sometimes late. Tonight, it was past 8. I was watching the driveway when the familiar sweep of headlights cut through the darkness. A small, foolish flutter of relief went through me. I rushed to the door, taking his briefcase from his hand. His face was tense, a muscle twitching in his jaw. I didn't dare speak, didn't dare ask. I just followed him inside, a silent shadow. "You're back," Eleanor cooed, her voice instantly sweet. Raymond just scowled. "Did you call Chloe's mother again today? How did you know?" "Oh, her daughter just called me. That girl is so proactive, so full of life." "Mom, this isn't the right place," he muttered, glancing nervously at me. Eleanor's eyes flicked in my direction, dismissing me entirely. I knew the signal. I turned and walked out of the room, my footsteps silent on the polished hardwood floor. I could still hear them. "What's gotten into you, Raymond? Acting like that in front of her. For now, Taylor is still your wife. You can't just go and marry someone else." "We're not legally married, Mom. We never filed the papers. And what's the point? She can't even give you a grandchild. It's only been 2 years. People wait 7, 8 years sometimes. And I'm supposed to wait? You only have one son, Mom. You want an heir to carry on the family name. 2 years ago, I convinced you to let me bring her here. Now, you have to listen to me. If you defy me on this, I might as well be dead." Her voice dropped, becoming syrupy and manipulative. "Chloe is a wonderful girl, Raymond. Her family is well respected. You should just meet her a few times. You'll see. I know you'll like her." "I'm busy," he said, his voice flat. He stood up, but I heard the sound of Eleanor grabbing his arm. "Raymond, if you want to make life easier for her," she said, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, "then you won't go against my wishes. Do you want me to make her life difficult? Can you just not be so hard on her? Your attitude determines everything, son. You only have one mother, and everything you have, this business, this lifestyle, it all comes from me. The moment I pull my funding, your days of easy living are over. No more fancy dinners, no more poker nights with your friends." That was his weak spot. Eleanor knew it, and she pressed it without mercy. Raymond's business was a gamble. Sometimes it paid off, sometimes it didn't. But regardless of profit or loss, his spending was constant, fueled by her money. Later, I was in our bedroom, folding his laundry, laying out his towel for his shower. The silence between us was a heavy blanket. He came and stood behind me, letting out a long, weary sigh. He took the clothes from my hands, walked a few steps toward the bathroom, and then stopped. He didn't turn around when he spoke. Maybe you should just listen to my mom." The air left my lungs. My hands froze in midair. I knew this day was coming. I had felt it approaching for months, like a distant storm. He finally turned, his eyes searching my face for something. Absolution, maybe. An easy way out? I couldn't speak. "Taylor, say something." "What do you want me to say, Raymond?" My voice was a ghost of itself. "In your mother's eyes, I'm not her daughter-in-law. I'm just a debtor. Do I even have the right to refuse?" He had the grace to look away. I know it's a lot to ask, but you can't have children." "Because I can't have children, we never legally got married." I finished for him, the words tasting like ash. "Because I can't have children, I have no place in this house." When we got married, she promised. She promised that after I gave her a grandson, we would make it official. My voice cracked. "Raymond, can you just do one last thing for me?" "What is it?" he asked, his relief palpable. I'll get a job, I'll work, and I will pay your mother back every single penny. You can marry Chloe. You can have the life your mother wants for you. But I can't. I can't live in this house and watch you be happy with someone else. Just give me back my ID, my personal papers, please. I don't really want you to go, he stammered, the words sounding hollow even to him. The pain in my chest was so sharp, it was hard to breathe. I knew he was selfish. I knew he was weak. But I never imagined he could be this cruel. Not a single drop of compassion. You want to keep me here to torture me, don't you? The words came out, bitter and accusing. On the surface, you defend me to your mother, but deep down, you want to watch me suffer, don't you? It satisfies you. Don't say it like that, he mumbled. It's just, I'm not used to the idea of you not being around. You loved me once, didn't you? That's why you wanted to marry me. I still do, Taylor. I love you. It's just, my mom is forcing me. We could leave. We could get our own place. You have a business. We could struggle a little, but we'd be free. You wouldn't have to depend on her for everything. He looked at me as if I'd grown a second head. Are you crazy? Why would I choose to live a hard life? We have a beautiful house, everything we need. So, in the end, you're not willing to sacrifice anything for me. Come on, Taylor. Everyone knows it's the woman who's supposed to sacrifice to build a family. This isn't my family, I finally snapped, my voice raw. Another woman is about to walk in here and take my place. I can tolerate your mother's insults. I can even accept you cheating on me, but I cannot watch another woman play the role of your wife in this house. I can't. You're making this too complicated, he said, his patience gone. Look, just do what my mom says, and remember, you still owe her. In that moment, a decision crystallized in my heart. I was alone. My parents were gone. If they could see me now, living this miserable existence, their hearts would break all over again. 2 years, it was a lifetime. I had tried so hard. I had endured so much. And for what? For nothing. That night, Eleanor made us sleep in separate rooms. It was as if she was meticulously scrubbing away any trace of my existence from her son's life, one piece at a time. The next morning, a girl arrived. She was wearing a dress that was both short and thin, the kind of outfit Eleanor usually despised. But today, seeing her future daughter-in-law, her face was wreathed in smiles. She didn't even seem to notice the dress. "Chloe, dear, come in, sit down. I was just about to tell Raymond to go pick you up." "Oh, it's no trouble, Eleanor. I drove myself." "Good. I love a woman who's independent, who earns her own money." I stood frozen at the top of the stairs. Should I hide in my room or go down and face them? As I hesitated, I heard Eleanor's sharp call, "Taylor, Taylor, where are you? Get down here." Walking down those stairs felt like walking a green mile. The first thing you'd notice about me was how plain I was. My clothes were old. My hair wasn't styled or colored. I was, in every sense, a simple country girl. The girl on the sofa, Chloe, already knew all about me. She gave me a look of pure contempt, a look that said, "In this day and age, a woman like this still exists. No wonder he can't stand her." "You called me, Eleanor?" I asked, my voice low. "Go and make some orange juice for Chloe. She's had a long drive. She must be thirsty." "Yes, Eleanor." I went to the kitchen. A few moments later, I brought out a glass of freshly squeezed juice. It was the way I always made it. Chloe took one sip and theatrically spit it back into the glass. "Ugh, it's so sour. Can't you add some sugar?" I took it back, did as she asked, and returned. She took another sip and wrinkled her nose. And now it's too cold. How am I supposed to drink this? Eleanor shot me a withering glare. Useless. Can't you do anything right? You can't even make a simple glass of juice. Go on, get to the kitchen and start cooking. We have a guest. Make sure you prepare a lot of dishes. I retreated to the kitchen. From the living room, I could hear Chloe's saccharine voice. Eleanor, there's something I need to ask you. Of course, dear. Ask away. If Raymond and I get married, what happens to your current daughter-in-law? Is she going to keep living here? Because, well, I have no intention of being a second wife, even though I do like Raymond very much, and our families are a good match. Oh, I'm already handling that, dear. I told your mother. This girl, it's just that her parents passed away, and we felt sorry for her. So we let her marry Raymond, but they never registered the marriage. No big wedding, nothing. So there's no loss of face to worry about. My mother mentioned that if she wants to stay here, I suppose it's fine, but she is not allowed to get close to Raymond. Of course not. I've had them sleeping in separate rooms for days. I would never let her near my son. And what about Raymond? He has no feelings for her. It was just pity from the start. Pity. Good. I trust you, Eleanor. I hope that in the future, neither you nor Raymond will disappoint me. Eleanor's family was considered wealthy in our town. They owned prime real estate inherited from their ancestors, which they rented out for a tidy sum each month, not to mention a string of rental properties and a significant amount of money in the bank. With that kind of security, Eleanor was confident she could find the perfect, obedient daughter-in-law. To her, Chloe was sharp, smart, and ambitious. The kind of woman who would build an empire. I went to the market. While buying groceries, I quietly asked around about jobs I could do nearby. The butcher, a kind woman I'd been buying from for 2 years, pulled me aside. Listen to me, she whispered, her eyes full of pity. The only way out for you is to go to the city. I'm telling you this because I care about you. Go far away from here. That's the only way you'll ever be free. When you have the money, you can send it back to them. You're all alone. You can go anywhere. I was thinking of applying for a job at a factory. You'll never escape that way. Don't you tell a soul, you hear me? If they find out, they'll never let you go. I bought the food and went home, her words echoing in my head. Go far away, as far as you can. I had barely managed to save any money over the years, maybe enough for a bus ticket to the city and a few days in a cheap motel. I didn't know anyone there. I had no idea how I would even find a job. What are you doing? Just standing there like you're in a dream. Eleanor's shriek startled me so badly that the chopsticks I was holding clattered to the floor. Oh, for God's sake. You can't do a single thing right. Why do I even bother feeding you? I bent down to pick them up. Her foot, shod in a hard-soled slipper, came down squarely on my hand. Pain, sharp and blinding, shot up my arm. Do your job properly, she hissed. If Chloe wasn't here, I'd have slapped you across the face already. For a fleeting, wild moment, I wanted to shove her away. The desire burned through me, hot and fierce, but I crushed it. I had to get out of here, but it had to be done quietly. If they found out I was planning to leave, they'd lock me up. They'd torment me until there was nothing left. I had no one to protect me. I had to save myself, step by careful step. I showed no resistance. Eleanor's mood softened slightly, and she lifted her foot. Get back to work. And don't you dare let my precious daughter-in-law go hungry. I cooked, just as I always did. It was past noon by the time I finished. I hadn't eaten a thing all morning, and I was dizzy with hunger. As I was arranging the last dish on a platter, I broke off a tiny piece of meat that was stuck to the wrapping. I was just about to put it in my mouth when Chloe walked into the kitchen. My, are we that hungry? Eating before your mother-in-law even has a chance to sit down. I put the piece of meat down and started carrying the dishes to the dining table. As I walked past her, she stuck her foot out. I went down hard. The platter of food flew from my hands, shattering on the tile floor. Eleanor came running in. I could kill you. Why is it that everything you touch gets ruined? Are you trying to destroy everything in this house? It wasn't my fault, I whispered, my voice thick with tears as I looked at Chloe. She just stood there, a picture of innocence, adding fuel to the fire. I really don't understand why Raymond ever wanted to marry her. You were so wise not to let them make it legal, Eleanor. Otherwise, no woman would ever want to take her place now. I looked straight at Eleanor. Do you ever trust me? Or do you only believe what you want to believe? No matter what I say, no matter what I do, it's never enough for you, is it? If you know that, then do your job properly. Stop making me angry all the time. Now, clean this mess up. And so, I cleaned. Alone. I didn't feel hurt or humiliated anymore. My mind was focused on one thing, getting my ID from that safe. But what was the password? What was the goddamn password? While I was lost in my own desperate thoughts, scrubbing dried meat sauce from the floor, Chloe was making her move. She went upstairs to Raymond's room. If he didn't have a business meeting, he could easily sleep until early afternoon. The door creaked open. The room was dark, the blackout curtains drawn tight against the day. Raymond was a lump under the expensive duvet. Chloe moved silently across the plush carpet, her perfume cutting through the stale, sleepy air. She touched his shoulder, a light, feathery stroke. He startled awake. He'd never been a heavy sleeper. What? He blinked, seeing her silhouette against the dim light from the hallway. It's time for lunch, sleepyhead, she purred. He was still groggy, not entirely pleased, but as his eyes adjusted, he saw her, perched on the edge of his bed in her suggestive little dress. You could practically see the gears turning in his head. You should get up, she said, her voice a soft command. Brush your teeth, get dressed, and come eat with us. And you can't keep sleeping in this late. It's not good for your health. He stared at her, a slow, lazy smile spreading across his face. Are you trying to manage my life already? I'm just looking out for you, she said, leaning closer. The sweet, cloying words were the perfect bait for a man like Raymond. For men like him, there is no true love, only the thrill of a momentary feeling, a passing interest that they mistake for passion. And so, we sat at the dinner table. 4 people. 3 of them talked and laughed, a happy little family unit. The 4th was an alien, a ghost at her own table. I had always been a light eater, preferring vegetables and simple dishes. In this house, it had become a survival tactic. The best cuts of meat, the richest dishes, were never meant for me anyway. As if reading my thoughts, Chloe, Raymond's future wife, extended a pair of serving tongs, and with a grand gesture of generosity, placed something on my plate. It was a piece of pork rib, or rather, a piece of bone, stripped clean of any meat, with only a sliver of gristle clinging to it. You should eat some meat, Taylor, she said, her voice dripping with false concern. You're always just eating vegetables. Eleanor chimed in instantly. Oh, just leave her be, Chloe. Let her eat whatever she wants. Don't waste your energy on her. Eleanor would have preferred I didn't sit at the same table at all, but Raymond was still in his I feel a little guilty phase, so Chloe didn't dare push it that far. Instead, she spent the entire meal shooting me sideways glances, little daggers of contempt that I felt in my bones. She stayed through the afternoon, and then through the evening. I was back in the kitchen, cooking again. This time, I wasn't allowed to choose the menu. She dictated it. A list of complicated, time-consuming dishes. Things I'd never made before. I doubted they could even finish it all. She came and stood beside me as I worked, a silent, judging presence. Then, she spoke. "Why do you put up with this?" Her tone wasn't curious. It was mocking. "You could just leave. I'd be happy. You'd be... well, you'd be whatever you are. Why do you have to cling to this place? What is it? Worried you won't have food to eat or clothes to wear outside of these walls? Worried you won't find another man as decent as Raymond? Decent?" The word was so absurd, I almost laughed out loud. She saw the flicker of a smile on my lips. "What's that supposed to mean? What's that smirk? Everyone lives their own life, Chloe. You shouldn't be so curious about mine. You want to know why everyone here despises you." She continued, ignoring my words. "It's because you're uneducated. You're financially dependent. People who leech off others are destined to be looked down upon. It's just the way the world works. But me, I'm different. I make my own money. I provide for myself, and that is why people will love and respect me." In the end, it was all just a speech to congratulate herself. But she was right. What she said was absolutely right. Without money, you are nothing. You are despised. That night, Chloe slept in the room that, for 2 years, I had foolishly considered my own. And now, I was a guest who wasn't welcome. I could sleep anywhere, as long as it was out of sight, just waiting for the sun to rise. I heard them, in that room, whispering, laughing. Their intimacy was a deliberate performance, right in front of me. There was no respect, no decency. Just yesterday, he had stood in that same room and claimed he was being forced into this. The human heart can change so quickly. A person's word holds no value. Everything they were doing was just a show, a thin veneer covering a rotten, soulless core. Did he feel no pity, no remorse for the woman who had stood by his side for 2 years? They say that even when love dies, a sense of shared history, of kindness, should remain. But here, there was nothing. The tears started again. I don't know how many times I've cried since I first stepped into this house. The thought of escape, once a flickering candle, was now a raging fire in my mind. My feet moved on their own, a wild, uncontrolled momentum carrying me down the hall. In that room, the two of them were wrapped up in each other. They wouldn't be coming out. I crept, step by silent step, to the door of Eleanor's office. She was there, sitting in front of her large iron safe, counting her money. It was her passion, an unbreakable habit. Stacks of cash, gold bracelets, diamond necklaces glittered under the lamplight. I felt no interest in any of it. I just wanted to know one thing. Where, in that metal box, were my documents? And what was the 6-digit code that would set me free? After a moment, she closed the heavy door with a solid thud. My hopes sank with it, but then she opened it again. She must have forgotten something. From my hiding place in the shadows of the hallway, I could just barely see the keypad. I saw her press 4 numbers, the first 4, but her body blocked the last 2. I couldn't see them. I was terrified she would spot me, so I slipped away, my heart pounding against my ribs. I didn't sleep at all that night. My mind raced, turning those missing numbers over and over. Even when I drifted off, I dreamt of them. Were my parents trying to send me a message? Was it a date? An anniversary? I didn't know Eleanor's birthday. Raymond's birthday didn't fit the numbers I'd seen. The key to my freedom was just 2 digits away. What could they be? What would you do when everything you want is locked behind a combination you can't quite see? I was still wrestling with the puzzle the next morning when I overheard a conversation between Eleanor and Chloe, and then I knew. It was so simple, so obvious. The password was Eleanor's birthday. Of course it was. Hope surged through me, a powerful, electrifying current. My mood lifted instantly. I wasn't sullen or resentful. I smiled. I worked. I was about to leave this house. I was about to start a new life. It might not be a happy one, but it would be free. That day, I did everything they asked of me. They were completely unsuspecting, without the slightest inkling that I was about to disappear. Raymond even approached me, looking a little awkward. He opened his mouth as if to explain something, then closed it again, saying nothing. Whatever this was between us, it was over. The words husband and wife no longer had any meaning. I waited for my moment. That afternoon, Eleanor and Chloe went out shopping. The moment their car pulled out of the driveway, I ran to her office. My hands were shaking as I typed in the 6 digits. The safe clicked open. I frantically searched inside, past the velvet boxes and bundles of cash. And then I saw it. A manila envelope with my name on it, my birth certificate, my social security card, my ID. I clutched it to my chest, a wave of pure, unadulterated joy washing over me. Tears streamed down my face, and then the front door opened. I shoved the envelope into the pocket of my jeans just as Eleanor walked into the office. She must have forgotten something. Her face went from surprise to pure fury in a split second. "What are you doing in my office?" Her eyes darted to the safe, which was still hanging open. She rushed towards it, her hands flying over her treasures. Everything was there, the gold, the money, nothing was missing. Her eyes, burning with rage, fixed on me. "You were trying to steal from me, weren't you? You little thief." I didn't say a word. I didn't try to explain. I just ran. "Stop her," Eleanor screamed. "Don't let her get away." Outside, Chloe heard the commotion. She saw me running towards her, but she didn't move. She didn't try to stop me. As I ran past, she said one thing, her voice low and clear. "You'd better run far away and never come back to this house again. Don't ruin other people's lives." The person I should have hated most in that moment became the one I was most grateful for. If Chloe had stopped me, what would have happened? How would that cruel woman have punished me? I was gone. Chloe immediately crumpled to the ground, crying and screaming. "I'm so sorry, Eleanor." I tried. I couldn't hold her. Eleanor helped Chloe up, her mouth a torrent of curses aimed at my retreating back. I reached the end of the street and saw a taxi waiting at the corner. I jumped in. "The bus station," I gasped. "As fast as you can. Today." I was leaving this place for good, fueled by a rage that bordered on madness. Eleanor drove to my parents' house. She screamed my name, cursing me, her hand shaking as she fumbled with the key she held. She threw open the door. The house was empty, completely empty. Even the small memorial altar for my parents, with their photographs and incense bowl, was gone. In her wildest dreams, she never would have imagined it. The day before, I had carefully packed up my parents' photos and taken them to a small temple in the next town, asking the monks to care for them. The house, she had the deed. She could sell it whenever she wanted. I knew that. And that's why I needed a safe, warm place for my parents to rest. Sitting on the bus, watching the town disappear behind me, I clutched the last family photo we ever took together. I couldn't stop the tears, the choked, silent sobs. "Mom, Dad, your daughter has been unfilial. I can't be there to light incense for you every day, but when I make enough money to pay them back, I swear I will bring you home." The bus pulled into the city terminal. The crush of people, the roar of traffic. It was overwhelming. I didn't know where to go, what to do. I sank onto a bench, a profound sense of desolation washing over me. Where do I even start? What kind of work can I do to survive? 1,000 questions, and not a single answer. In this glittering, prosperous metropolis, was there any room for a poor girl with nothing to her name? I just started walking. I wandered for hours as night fell, finally ending up in a small park. I hadn't eaten all day. A young boy walked by with a basket of bread. I bought one loaf. I only dared to eat half, saving the rest for tomorrow. I looked at the few crumpled bills in my hand. How long could I possibly survive on this? The night air was cold, the dew settling on my clothes. But strangely, I felt more at ease here, on this hard wooden bench, than I ever had in that big, empty house I had left, and I would never go back. There was nothing there for me to miss. Meanwhile, Raymond was turning the town upside down, searching for me. Where could she have gone? He thought. She can't go anywhere without her ID. It was only then that Eleanor remembered. She ran back to the safe. When she saw the empty manila envelope, the one she had so carefully hidden away, she went insane. That bitch. She must have spied on me. She figured out the password. No wonder nothing else was missing. All she wanted was her papers, so she could run away. Why didn't you hide them better? Raymond yelled, frantic. Now she's gone. Wife? What wife? She's not your wife anymore. Chloe is your wife. Just let her go. Good riddance. We're not so poor that we can't hire a maid to replace her. What is there to miss? Raymond didn't understand what he was feeling himself. It was a sharp, aching sense of regret that was driving him crazy. Who was it that cooked his meals every day? Who took care of him? Who sat in silence for hours, listening to his mother's complaints? Who was it that never, ever blamed him, even when he cheated on her? He once had a woman who was that forgiving. He wanted to go out, to find me, but Eleanor blocked his path. You are not to go anywhere. You take one step out of this house today, and I'm cutting you off completely. You always use money to threaten me. Aren't you tired of it? It's better that she's gone. One less mouth to feed. Do you know how much she cost us? Mom, he shouted, his voice cracking. Do you have any idea how hard she worked? She was like a machine in this house, and you never once acknowledged her efforts. And what about you? Eleanor shot back. You talk as if you loved her so much, but how many other women were you seeing? Did you feel guilty then? No. The bottom line is, she doesn't fit into our family. The only thing that pisses me off is that she still owes us money. I'm going to have to find someone to sell that house of hers. I don't care about the money. I have to find her. She's not going to escape me. Not in this lifetime. It wasn't love. It was possession. It was his bruised ego, his selfish need to own me, that made Raymond want to keep me at all costs. He ran out of the house like a madman, searching everywhere. Eleanor tried to stop him, but she couldn't. A strange city, all alone. I still hadn't found a job. Days passed, and my strength began to fail. I was wandering through the city late one night, my legs unsteady, my vision blurring. I leaned against the trunk of a tree, and the world started to go fuzzy. The streetlights melted into indistinct blobs of light. Miss, are you all right? A woman's voice cut through the haze. Oh my God, you're freezing. Let me get you to a hospital. I heard her words, and then nothing. When I woke up, I wasn't in a hospital. I was in a strange house, in a strange room. I tried to stand, to go outside, but the door was locked. Panic clawed at my throat. I pounded on the door again and again. A sharp voice yelled from the other side. Be quiet. Someone will be here soon. I curled into a ball in the corner, a fear colder and deeper than anything I'd felt with Eleanor creeping into my heart. About 5 minutes later, the door opened. A woman walked in, a predatory smile on her face. "Well, little sister, you're awake. Where am I?" "You're at my house. I want to leave." She laughed, a harsh, grating sound. "Leave? It's not that easy. Do you know how much money I spent to save your life? I had to pay the doctor, pay for the car. I don't have any money." "No money?" Her smile vanished. "Then you shouldn't have accepted help from a stranger. Who do you think I am?" Just as she spoke, I heard a scream from outside the room. Another young girl was being dragged down the hall, struggling against 2 men. I scrambled to my feet, but the woman shoved me back down to the floor. "Once you're here, there's no hope of escaping. Not unless you pay me back." "How much do you want?" $100,000. 100,000, I gasped. "Don't look so surprised." "Yes, $100,000. You pay me that and you're free. If you can't, you work for me." I had been captured by a human trafficking ring. The realization was a punch to the gut. I was terrified, panicked, but there was nothing I could do. I was helpless, locked away again. Had I escaped one prison only to be thrown into another? Was this my fate, to never be free? I was given 1 meal a day. If I wasn't obedient, I was beaten. I became a walking corpse, a hollow shell in a cold, dark room. After a week, the woman came back. "Have you prepared yourself?" she asked, looking me up and down. "What do you want to do?" "Go take a shower, get cleaned up, put on these clothes," she said, throwing a silk dress onto the bed. "You're going out tonight." A flicker of hope ignited within me. "You're letting me go?" She let out a huge, booming laugh. "You think I'd let you go before I've gotten any return on my investment? Where do you think I'm taking you?" "Where?" "Tonight, you're going to entertain a man, a very successful man. I'll split the profit with you, 50-50. Every girl here gets a similar deal. You want me to sell my body." My voice was a whisper. "I won't do it." Her hand shot out, grabbing my chin, her fingers digging into my jaw. "You don't have a choice. You think you have a choice? Once you're in this place, you do as I say. Do you understand me?" I was dragged away. Another girl, her eyes empty and resigned, helped me wash. "Don't fight them," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the sound of the running water. "They'll beat you to death. There's no way out of here." Were you kidnapped too?" I asked. She shook her head, her eyes darting nervously towards the door. "There are ears everywhere here. Don't talk nonsense, and don't ask questions." They dressed me in a simple white chiffon dress. My hair was brushed until it shone. "Is Taylor ready?" The woman, whom the other girls called Madame, came in. She circled me, inspecting me like a piece of livestock. She nodded, satisfied. "She's quite beautiful, in a simple way. Innocent looking. They'll like that." Before I was let out, Madame leaned in close, her breath hot, and smelling of stale coffee against my ear. "Be a good girl. If you're not, well, don't blame me when you find your tendons have been cut. There's no such thing as compassion in this place." A chill, colder than any winter night, spread through my entire body. If I didn't obey, they would make me a cripple, a fate worse than death. It was real. They took me to a lavish hotel. I tried to scream, to call for help, but no one responded. It was a well-oiled machine, this operation of theirs. I was put in a room, and the door was locked from the outside. There was no escape. The balcony doors were sealed shut. Every detail had been meticulously planned. Down below, in the VIP lounge, the sound of laughter and clinking glasses created a boisterous, chaotic symphony. A middle-aged man raised his glass. "Mr. Evans, a pleasure doing business with you. To our successful partnership. And tonight, I have a special gift for you." Liam Evans, 35 years old, CEO of a major import-export firm. He was a leader not just in his industry, but also a man with deep political connections. In the world of business, he was a force to be reckoned with. He seemed indifferent to the world, a man who had never been seen trying to curry favor with anyone. He glanced at the man in front of him, his voice cool and clipped. "The deal is done, Mr. Henderson. There's no need for gifts. Come now, this is a long-term partnership. Can't you indulge an old friend a little?" Liam had intended to leave that night, but Henderson was insistent, and there were too many eyes watching. Humiliating Henderson in public would serve no purpose. Reluctantly, Liam nodded. He took the elevator to the suite. The moment he stepped inside, the door was locked behind him. So, the gift Henderson had mentioned was a girl. Liam felt absolutely no interest. He gave me a single, dismissive glance before walking into the adjoining room. From the moment this stranger had entered, I had been trembling uncontrollably, clutching a thick comforter around myself, huddled in a corner. When he emerged from the bathroom, my fear intensified. He was wearing a plush bathrobe, tied securely at the waist. The air conditioning was set to a pleasant, cool temperature. He picked up a book from the nightstand and began to read, completely ignoring me, as if I were a piece of furniture, an invisible object in the room. Could it be? Was this man a decent human being? Slowly, I let the comforter fall away. I moved towards him, sitting on the edge of the bed near his armchair. He still didn't acknowledge me. I reached out, my hand trembling, just about to touch the sleeve of his robe. His eyes, cold as ice, snapped up to meet mine. "What are you doing?" I was so tense I couldn't form a single word. "You'd best not come near me," he said, his voice flat. "Sit over there, further away." I was afraid he couldn't hear me, so I moved closer again. His annoyance was palpable. "What is it now?" My voice was a desperate whisper. Can you help me get out of here? I'll be grateful to you for the rest of my life." He looked at me, really looked at me for the first time. "And why should I help you? What benefit can you offer me? Money? Profit?" I shook my head frantically. "I don't have anything. I'm a businessman, not a philanthropist." "I'll do anything you want," I pleaded, the words tumbling out. "Anything. Just get me out of this place. I don't want to sell my body." It was only then that Liam truly registered my presence. Before him was a girl with sorrowful eyes, red-rimmed from crying. Her face was innocent, pure. No wonder Henderson had wanted to offer him a gift. With a face like this, it was indeed not bad. "How long have you been working here?" he asked. I was just captured, brought here. "You owe them money." "I don't owe them anything." I fainted on the street, and they took me in. Then they told me I owed them $100,000. My voice broke. "Please, can you help me? $100,000 to buy your freedom," he mused, his expression unreadable. "And how long would it take you to pay me back?" "Let me remind you, I am not a philanthropist. I'll be your slave. I'll work like an animal for you. I swear I will repay you." Liam nodded, a quick, decisive movement. "All right then. Remember that. Work like an animal. You will repay your debt." He got dressed, his movements efficient and precise. He took me by the hand, his grip firm, and led me out of the room. He stood before Henderson, his face a mask of polite indifference. "Can you give her to me?" Henderson let out a booming laugh. "If Mr. Evans likes her, of course, by all means. But she's not one of my girls. You'll have to speak to her. Owner, the next shipment, Liam said, cutting him off. Increase my profit margin by 5%. How does that sound? Henderson's eyes widened. He nodded immediately. Take her. Take her. But are you really that interested? 5% is no small amount. Liam didn't answer. He just pulled me away. Sitting in his car, a sleek, black sedan, a new fear began to creep in. What if this place I was going to wasn't freedom? What if it was just another cage, owned by a different master? Then I reasoned with myself. I wasn't particularly beautiful or attractive. It was unlikely he would have paid such a high price for me for that. The car stopped in front of a modern mansion, built in stark shades of gray. It was surrounded by dense trees, as if trying to completely isolate itself from the outside world. When we stepped inside, I was taken aback. The walls were painted a deep, matte black. All the furniture was black. If the lights weren't on, it would be impossible to see anything. Sit, he said. I sat on the edge of a black leather sofa, my hands twisted together in my lap. What can I do to repay you? What can you do? He repeated, the question hanging in the air. I can clean the house. I can cook. Your ID. I quickly handed it to him. He scanned the name, the address. His brow furrowed slightly. Your hometown isn't far from the city. Do you want to call your parents? Let them know you're safe. My parents. They're gone. Liam fell silent. After a moment, he stood up. You can stay here, for now. Thank you. You're a good person. A wry, humorless smile touched his lips. You're wrong. I'm not a good person. He went upstairs, leaving me alone in the vast, dark living room. I had no idea where I was supposed to sleep tonight. My stomach rumbled loudly in the silence. If you're hungry, go to the kitchen and make something to eat. His voice suddenly boomed from an intercom system somewhere in the ceiling, making me jump. You can sleep upstairs, second floor. The room on the right. I'm in the room on the left. I went into the kitchen. To my surprise, it was fully stocked. Spices, fresh ingredients, everything one could possibly need. It seemed Liam cooked at home often. I found a packet of instant noodles. No vegetables, no meat. I didn't want to waste his food. After all, my very presence here was an inconvenience. I went up to the room he had indicated. When I opened the door, a wave of fear washed over me. The oppressive, dark atmosphere was amplified by the room's decor. It looked less like a bedroom and more like a laboratory. I could see anatomical models, skeletal charts, symbols of death and decay. I quickly shut the door and sat on the floor in the hallway, right outside Liam's room, seeking some small measure of comfort in his proximity. In the middle of the night, his door opened. He stepped out and saw me, curled into a tight ball, asleep on the floor. His expression soured. Why are you sitting here? I jolted awake. Did I wake you? I asked you a question. Why aren't you sleeping in your room? I'm afraid of ghosts. In this house, he said, his voice low and serious. There are things you should be far more afraid of than the ones you can't see. Every word he spoke sent a shiver down my spine, a warning that I should be on my guard. He was a stranger. He wasn't a friend. Escaping that brothel was a miracle. Whatever Liam wanted from me, it was better than being left there, to be tormented day after day by strangers. I was starting to believe in the concept of fate. My life had been a struggle since childhood. I married, and it only got worse. I escaped that house, and my suffering continued. Go back to your room, he said, his voice sharp. Don't disturb other people. Yes, sir. I had to overcome my fear. I returned to that strange, unsettling room. This house was so big, with so many rooms. Why did he insist I stay in this one? Late at night, the wind howled outside, rattling the window panes. The branches of the trees scraped against the glass, casting monstrous, dancing shadows on the walls. I quickly drew the curtains. I didn't dare sleep on the bed. I sat in a corner, my back against the wall, and stayed that way all night, wide awake, listening. It was only when the first light of dawn broke through the curtains that I finally drifted into a restless sleep. When I woke, Liam was standing in the doorway. The large bed was empty. My small frame was still curled up in the corner. That image seemed to trigger something in him. He remembered being a child, in the dead of winter, huddled in a corner just like that. His mother, a gambling addict, would be out all night, completely oblivious to her starving, crying child. Later, when his father came and took him away, his life improved, but only in terms of food and clothing. The emotional void remained. He grew up in the cold shadow of his father's indifference. His father doted on his daughter from his second marriage. His half-sister was allowed to pursue her dreams, to study whatever she wanted. Liam, on the other hand, had wanted to be a doctor. He was forced to study business, to follow a path that was not his own, until he eventually lost sight of the person he was meant to be. I woke with a start. The tall figure in the doorway made me jump again. Since my marriage, I had become timid, easily startled, always afraid. It was almost 9 o'clock. I rushed to start cleaning the house, instinctively understanding my role. I was the housekeeper here. If Liam wanted me to do other things, I wouldn't refuse. Liam stood on the stairs, his arms crossed, watching me. I worked quickly, efficiently. I was diligent, and I knew my place. These were, he supposed, good qualities, reasons to keep me around. Why had he agreed to spend a not insignificant sum of money to buy my freedom yesterday? Because yesterday had been his birthday, and in me he saw a reflection of his own pathetic childhood. Now, he was a grown man. He had everything he wanted, protecting someone weaker than himself. It was worth doing. He had always lived inside a cold, impenetrable shell. He had no friends. His family was a distant, blurry concept. Sometimes, they even seemed to forget he existed. He cooked for himself every day, cleaned his own house, and every night, he would return to this place, this sanctuary of darkness, and console himself. I was careful not to move any of his belongings. I dusted and polished with meticulous care. At least in this place, I didn't have to hear the constant scolding. I didn't have to watch my husband flirt with another woman. This place was filled only with silence. It was a place where my bleeding wounds could begin to heal. At noon, I used the ingredients from the fridge to prepare a proper meal. Liam hadn't gone out today. He'd been in his study, reading, all morning. When I called him for lunch, he looked up, surprised. "Lunch is ready, sir." He glanced at his watch. Normally, at this time, he'd be grabbing a quick, thoughtless bite at the office. Today, someone had cooked for him, had come to his room to call him. It was a feeling he hadn't experienced in decades. I stood, waiting by the table as he came down. He looked at the 3 dishes I'd prepared: a soup, a stir-fry, a savory main course. For a long moment before taking a bite, the flavor was, he had to admit, not bad. I was still standing beside him. He looked up. "Sit down and eat." "I'm the help, sir. I can't eat at the same table as the master." "When did I ever say I hired you as my housekeeper? Could you let me work here? Even if you don't pay me, I need to earn money to pay off a debt. So, not only are you poor, you're also in debt. If I can't pay them back, I'll be tied to them for the rest of my life. I want to bring my parents' memorial home. Sit down, he said, his voice softer this time. My eyes were welling up with tears. Anyone who didn't know better would think I was bullying you. If my parents were still alive, I said, my voice thick with emotion. No matter how poor we were, I always felt like I had a place to belong. Now, they're gone. I'm all alone. I don't know what to do. At least you had your parents with you until you were an adult, he said quietly. Have you ever experienced the feeling of having family, but at the same time, having no one at all? I shook my head. He gave a small, bitter smile. It's a feeling you'll never forget. It gnaws at you every single day. It makes you want to be alone. It makes you wary of everyone. You don't want friends. You don't want to trust anyone. I had a feeling he was talking about his own life. A man with a fancy car, a huge house. Could he really be that lonely? Eat your lunch, he said, his tone brisk again. As for whether I'll keep you here or not, we'll decide tomorrow. I only ate the vegetables. It had become a habit, ingrained in me. I didn't even serve myself a piece of meat. Liam noticed. Are you a vegetarian? He asked. I shook my head. No. Then why aren't you eating any meat? I'm used to it, I mumbled. Another simple statement that struck a dissonant chord within him. You don't normally eat meat. If I ate meat, she would yell at me. My mother-in-law. His eyes narrowed slightly. You're married? He paused. Then why aren't you at home with your husband? Why are you here, my husband and I? We never legally registered the marriage, and I owe his family money. For my parents' funeral expenses, I can't have children. So his mother wants him to marry someone else. So you ran away because you didn't want to pay them back? He asked, his tone probing. No, it's not that. I will find a way to pay them back. How much do you owe? $100,000, I said, the number feeling impossibly large. When my parents got sick, it wasn't just the funeral. It was the medical bills before that. We sold everything we had. He found it hard to imagine the kind of life I must have lived. It seemed as though all the suffering in the world had been piled onto this one small woman. And your husband? How did he treat you? I fell silent. I didn't know what words to use to describe them. They had caused me unimaginable pain. Yet because of that initial act of kindness, I couldn't bring myself to speak ill of them. Liam saw the conflict in my face and understood. He could guess I had been abused. No one runs away from a happy home. No parents to lean on. No love from the family she married into. She was truly an unfortunate soul. All right, he said, his decision made. You can work here. I'll pay you a proper salary. You can use it to pay off your debt. My face lit up. Thank you. Thank you so much. But if you don't do a good job, I can fire you at any time, he added, his voice stern. I'm not guaranteeing you a job for life, especially if you're incompetent. Yes, sir. I'll work as hard as I can. Just then, a soft meow echoed through the room. A sleek, black cat with piercing green eyes padded slowly towards us. A rare, genuine smile touched Liam's lips. Balthazar, so you decided to come home? The cat had a fierce, arrogant face, just like its owner. The moment I saw it, I felt a prickle of fear. So, in addition to cleaning the house, I now had to take care of Balthazar. The cat looked at me with open hostility. I reached out a hand, intending to pet him, and he immediately arched his back, his fur standing on end, a low, contemptuous growl rumbling in his chest. He doesn't bite, Liam said calmly. He's just not very friendly. I didn't know if I could take care of him properly, but it was part of the job. I would do my best. Liam pointed towards a row of potted plants on the balcony. the lush greenery in the garden, and a large built-in aquarium. All of it, he explained, was now my responsibility. I was to cook breakfast and dinner for him. He would eat lunch at the office. After laying out my duties, Liam left. This house, even in broad daylight, had a chilling, eerie quality to it. I cleaned, fed the fish, watered the garden, and pruned the dead leaves from the plants. The last task was Balthazar. I still couldn't get near him. I put his food in a bowl and watched him from a distance. How pathetic was I? Not only did I have to please a human, but now I had to win over a cat. He was a lucky animal, to be so loved by his owner. The doorbell rang. Standing outside was a man who looked remarkably like Liam, but older, with the same cold, calculating eyes. "Who are you?" he demanded, looking me up and down. "I'm the new housekeeper, sir. Mr. Evans just left." "Open the gate. I'm coming in." "I'm sorry, sir, but I'll have to call him first." He scowled. "I'm his uncle." "I'm sorry, sir," I repeated, shaking my head. "Mr. Evans instructed me not to let anyone in when he's not home. I can call him for you, but I can't open the gate." The man, clearly displeased, got back into his car and drove away. I was only following orders. If something went wrong, how would I ever explain it to Liam? That evening, Liam returned. Walking beside him was the man from the afternoon, still wearing the same icy expression. He shot me a look as they walked past. "Make some tea," Liam said. "Yes, sir." I went to the kitchen. In the living room, I could hear his uncle's annoyed voice. "When you hire help, you should hire professionals. Someone with a bit more sense. What did she do that displeased you, uncle?" "I came by this afternoon. I told her to open the gate, but she absolutely refused." "Well, then it sounds like she's very professional, doesn't it? She did exactly as I instructed. She's new here. How would she know who you are? How could she dare to let you in? Then from now on, you tell her that when she sees me, she is to open the gate immediately. Of course, when I'm home." "What is that supposed to mean?" "It means you should tell him," Liam said, his voice dropping, "not to think about spying on me. This is my private residence, not a public space where anyone can come and go as they please." "You're going too far, Liam." "I'd like to know, uncle, what reason could you possibly have for entering my house when I'm not here? There's nothing here that you need to find. You're getting more and more like your father every day. Very imposing." "Thank you for the compliment, but I have no desire to be like him." I brought out the tea. The uncle, whose name I learned was Howard, started to observe me, his eyes raking over me from head to toe. His stare made me deeply uncomfortable. I quickly retreated to the kitchen, wanting to escape his gaze. It reminded me of things in my past, things that made me perpetually guarded. Howard took a sip of tea and nodded in approval. "Your new maid makes excellent tea." "Yes. Why don't you let her come and work for me? I've taken quite a liking to her." "Name your price." The casual way he spoke, as if I were a head of lettuce at the market, sent a chill through me. "Uncle, people who work for a living aren't selling themselves. They still have certain rights. As long as you're willing, it can be arranged." Liam set his teacup down with a sharp click. "I'm not willing." "We're family, Liam, but you always refuse every request, every favor I ask. It seems you no longer have any respect for your uncle. Perhaps you could make a request that is a little less difficult. My abilities are limited. I can't grant every wish." Howard slammed his hand down on the coffee table. "You insolent boy. I was trying to re-establish a family connection on your father's behalf. But if this is how you're going to be, then I have nothing more to say." He stormed out. Only then did I dare to come out and clear the tea service. Liam was lounging on the sofa, his long legs crossed on the table. "He made a very attractive offer for you to go and work for him," he said conversationally. "What do you think?" My heart stuttered. You're going to sell me. Don't make it sound so dramatic. It's just a change of workplace. I don't want to go. You promised I could work here, but as they say, money can change everything. You're a good person. I know you are. You wouldn't sell me for a bit of profit. And why are you so certain of that? I've never claimed to be a good person. I can just feel it, I said, my voice small. I moved closer, refilling his teacup. "Please, drink your tea. This kind of free flattery won't do you any good, you know. I don't have any money to buy you gifts. I'm aware of that," he said, his eyes turning towards the door his uncle had just exited. He was a person of mine now, and no matter how high the price, no one else was going to take her. Just like everything else he possessed, no one was allowed to touch it. I worked hard, day in, day out. I woke up at the same time every morning, cooked different meals, learned new recipes. The work was repetitive, but it never felt like a burden. There was a large bookshelf in the living room, filled with books. In my spare time, I would read. Sometimes, I would get so lost in a book that hours would pass without me even noticing. I'd never had much of an education. Now, seeing all these books, it felt like a feast. "You seem to be very interested in those economics books." The voice came from right behind me. I jumped, spinning around. Liam was standing there. How long had he been watching me? I quickly put the book back on the shelf. "You're home, sir. I'll get your bath water ready." "No need. I'm not a child, and I'm not disabled. I can do it myself. But it's my job." I tried to walk past him, but he suddenly grabbed my wrist. His grip wasn't tight, but it felt controlling. My eyes widened in alarm. A slow, crooked smile played on his lips. "I have no ulterior motives. You don't need to look so worried. I already told you. I will work like an animal to repay you, so you'll willingly submit to any of my requests." Reluctantly, I nodded. His smile faded. "I never force anyone, especially not someone who once belonged to another man." He went upstairs, leaving me feeling confused and unsettled. Half an hour later, he came back down, wearing his bathrobe, his hair still damp. He selected a book and sat on the sofa to read. I brought him a plate of sliced apples. "Have some fruit, sir." It was as if he didn't even notice his foul mood. I just kept working, a machine programmed to perform its tasks. He put his book down and looked at me. "What happened to your hand?" I quickly hid my hand behind my back. "It's nothing." He stood up and walked towards me. He took my hand, forcing me to show him. It was a small, delicate hand, but it was covered in calluses. My skin was dry and rough, and on the back of it, a fresh burn. The skin red and blistered. He touched it lightly, and I flinched. How did this happen? I wasn't careful when I was frying the fish. "Careless," he muttered. He went to a cabinet, took out a small first aid kit, and handed me a tube of ointment. "Put this on." "Thank you. It's nothing. I'm a kind person, after all." He started to walk up the stairs, then stopped on the second step. A faint, pleasant scent was coming from me. It was calming, and it seemed to soothe his frayed nerves. I had been working since I was a child. After I got married, every kind of trouble was thrown my way. I was resilient. Things like this didn't faze me. Even the stinging pain of the burn didn't make me cry out. I applied the ointment Liam had given me and went back to work. I cleaned and scrubbed until the house was spotless. I had a lot of free time. I found myself wondering about the world outside these walls. What else was out there? The next morning, as Liam was about to leave for work, I ran after him. He stopped so suddenly that I crashed right into his back. "What is it now?" he asked, turning around. You're going to work." "Yes. Can I come with you?" "To do what?" "I finished all the housework early this morning. There's nothing for me to do until this evening." "You want to come to my company?" I nodded eagerly. He raised an eyebrow. "You're already earning a salary from me. Now, you want to make a little extra from my company?" "I just feel like it's a waste of time, being at home all day." "If you want to do something, then learn how to cook a new, delicious dish. Hasn't your life been chaotic enough? Why do you want to get involved in the hustle and bustle of my world? It's full of people from all walks of life. It's not as peaceful as your hometown." As he was speaking, another man approached. He was dressed like a villain from a movie. Well, Liam Evans. The two men shook hands. The newcomer pulled out a pack of cigarettes and offered one to Liam. Liam refused. "I'm sorry, I don't smoke. One cigarette won't turn you into a bad boy." "Everyone has their own principles," Liam said coolly. The man's eyes shifted to me. "A new secretary? She's a pretty one." I turned my face away. He chuckled. "Why so shy? In the end, it's all just a form of entertainment, isn't it?" "It's been a while, Mr. Silas," Liam said, his voice laced with ice. "You still enjoy provoking people, I see. Did I say something that bothered you? Did I upset your little pet?" "Yes, you did." The man talking to Liam was not a reputable character. He was a known smuggler who often tried to use legitimate shipping companies to move his illegal goods. Liam had refused to work with him time and time again. So, every time they met, Silas intentionally tried to cause trouble. "How about we have a meal together sometime?" Silas asked. "Perhaps another time. I have an important meeting with a partner today. So today, I'm not of any value to you. That remains to be seen. But I respect seniority. Then you should arrange a meeting for me with this lovely secretary of yours, perhaps. Or, if you're willing, you could sell her to me." He laughed loudly, his eyes still fixed on me. I felt a wave of revulsion. I instinctively reached out and grabbed the back of Liam's shirt. After Silas had gone, I was still trembling. "Let's go home," Liam said, his voice tight. He pulled me away. His life outside, his work, was complicated and fraught with danger. It was only when he returned to his dark, silent house that he felt a sliver of peace. I busied myself in the kitchen, cooking. Liam was at his computer, organizing the information he'd recently gathered on Silas. It seemed the man had a powerful network. He shut down his laptop and came into the kitchen. The fragrant aroma of the food drew him in. I saw him and immediately ladled a small amount of soup into a bowl for him to taste. "I'm making a seafood hot pot. See if the seasoning is right." The broth, sweet and savory from the crab meat, was the first thing he tasted. He didn't have to cook for himself anymore, but he could still eat the dishes he liked. "How is it? Is it good?" "It's all right." I arranged everything on the dining table and stood beside him. "I will serve you, sir, just like in a 5-star restaurant. You've been to one before? I've seen them on TV. Sit down and eat." Before sitting, I was about to serve him some food. "I have hands, you know," he said sharply. I sat down and thought for a moment before asking, "What kind of work can I do? You're already my housekeeper. What more do you want? If you feel you're not busy enough, I can buy 10 more Balthazars. Then you'll certainly be very busy." "Oh, no, please don't." As if on cue, Balthazar sauntered into the room. The cat still had no affection for me whatsoever. I hadn't even been able to touch him yet. He leaped gracefully into Liam's lap. I muttered under my breath, "I'm not trying to steal your owner, you know. You don't have to look at me like that." Balthazar doesn't like it when you use informal language with him. "Oh, I'm sorry, Balthazar," I said, sighing. I picked up a piece of squid. I had never eaten anything like it before. It was delicious. After dinner, as I was cleaning up, I started to feel an intense itch. I'd just had a shower. I tried to ignore it, but as I finished the dishes, I looked down at my arms and gasped. They were covered in angry, red welts. Oh no, I must be having an allergic reaction. I sat in a corner, scratching, but it didn't help. The ointment Liam had given me didn't work either. This time, I was probably going to be covered in scars. Liam came downstairs and saw me. He was shocked. "What's wrong with you?" "I don't know. I think it's an allergic reaction. Let's go to the hospital." "It's fine. I'll just sleep it off. If you want to die, then by all means. Stay here," he said grimly. He grabbed his jacket, and I scrambled to follow him. At the hospital, after they ran some tests and started an IV drip, I kept glancing at Liam. It was late. He should be at home, sleeping. Instead, he was here, watching over me. "Maybe you should go home," I said. "I'll be fine. Just get some sleep." "How can I sleep when you're still awake?" A doctor came in. She was a young woman, and she and Liam seemed to know each other. They nodded a greeting. "How is she?" Liam asked. "It's just a common allergic reaction. Nothing too serious. She can be discharged tomorrow." "Thank you, Amelia." The two of them stepped out into the hallway. Amelia walked quickly to stand in front of Liam. "Who is she?" "Someone you care about enough to bring to the hospital in the middle of the night. She can't just be a nobody. It's none of your business, Amelia. I'm just curious, how's Dad? Go home and ask him yourself. If I remember correctly, you haven't been home in over a month. I've been busy falling in love. She's not my girlfriend. Can you trust her? This girl. She doesn't seem like a simple person. You're getting too nosy. I'll tell Dad. Do whatever you want. Are you not afraid he'll come looking for her? If he comes looking for her, he'll come looking for you, and he'll come looking for me. You always use threats. I'm not a child anymore. I'm not afraid of you. Just do your job, Amelia. You're still as annoying as ever. Thank you. You should take good care of her. You can go home and rest now. I'll stay here until morning and then bring her home." "No need. Don't tell me you two are living together." Liam didn't answer. This only made his sister, Amelia, more curious. But she knew her brother's personality, so she didn't press him. Although they were half-siblings, they were quite close, a stark contrast to the relationship between Liam and Amelia's mother. Liam stayed at the hospital all night. I was deeply moved. He wasn't my family, he wasn't my friend, yet he took care of me. It felt like, for the first time in a long time, I had found someone I could lean on. The hospital bed was uncomfortable, and my mind was racing. I tossed and turned all night. The next morning, as soon as the administrative offices opened, Amelia handled all the discharge paperwork. Thanks to her, we were able to leave earlier than usual. When we got back to the house, Liam said, "You don't need to clean or cook today. I'll order takeout for you tonight." "I can cook," I insisted. "Don't order in. It's a waste of money." He gave me a sharp look. "You don't seem to place much importance on your own health, do you? You are currently in my debt. If something happens to you, who's going to cover those expenses?" "Don't worry, sir. I know my own body. I can cook and clean like usual." "Fine. Do as you please," he said, and left for work. I started cleaning. I never used any excuse to be lazy. It was another dull, quiet day. In this strange place, with no family and no friends, the only person I spoke to was Liam. That evening, the moment he got home, I rushed to the gate to meet him. I opened it for him, then took his briefcase. Why are you so eager to please? Did something happen? He asked, a hint of suspicion in his voice. I didn't talk to anyone all day, I confessed. I thought I was going to forget how to speak. Why didn't you turn on the TV? I don't know how. He looked at me, and for the first time, it seemed to dawn on him. I didn't have a phone. He went to a drawer, pulled out an old smartphone, and handed it to me. If anything happens at home, call me. It's an old model, so don't feel bad about taking it. Do you know how to use one of these? I nodded. Good. Have you eaten yet? Not yet. I've cooked everything though. You can go take a shower and then come down to eat. After his shower, Liam came downstairs. I was running up from the basement, not paying attention to where I was going, and ran straight into him. If he hadn't caught me, I would have tumbled all the way down. I was suddenly in his arms, his hands firm on my waist. Our eyes met. I flushed and scrambled to pull away, but my awkward movement only made me stumble again, and he had to steady me a second time. Can you be a little more careful? He said, his voice a low rumble. I'm sorry. What were you in such a hurry for? I forgot to put the scented sachets in the wardrobe. You can do it later. He took my arm and led me downstairs. Then he looked at me, his gaze intense. Eat more. You're too thin. He placed a piece of meat on my plate. Eat. I slowly lowered my head. I don't know why, but tears started to well up in my eyes. I could feel something was wrong. He reached out and tilted my chin up, forcing me to look at him. You're crying. Why? Besides my parents, I whispered, my voice thick with tears. You're the best person I've ever met, and now they're gone. If I hadn't met you, then you should treat yourself better, he said softly. That's the only way it's fair. I'll do my best for you, I promised. He nodded. All right, now eat. His phone rang. It was his father. Hello? Come home tomorrow night. Is something wrong, Dad? Just come home, and you'll find out. I probably can't make it. Liam. His father's voice hardened. Don't defy me. Liam threw the phone down on the table. A muscle was twitching in his jaw. Every call from his father felt like a command, a prearranged move in a chess game he was forced to play. After I had finished all my work, I quietly went back to my room. The dark, eerie room with its strange models no longer scared me. I took my medicine and tried to sleep, but I felt restless and uneasy. I slipped out of my room. Liam was still sitting on the sofa downstairs, lost in thought. I sat on the bottom step of the staircase, just watching him. The side effects of the medicine must have kicked in, because I soon drifted off to sleep. When Liam finally looked up, he saw me slumped over on the stairs. He sighed, scooped me up into his arms, and carried me back to my room. You're such a nuisance, he muttered to my sleeping form. But I can't seem to leave you alone. He couldn't sleep that night. Every time he thought about his family, a knot of tension formed in his stomach. There was no way to escape his father's control. The man's influence was vast. To his father, Liam was nothing more than a fledgling bird, just learning to flap its wings. The next day, he went to work as usual, but his foul mood made life miserable for his employees. That afternoon, he sat in his car for a long time, unable to decide whether to go to his own home or his father's. His phone rang again. It was his father. Are you on your way yet? I'm just leaving the office. You'd better be here today. His father hung up. It must be something important. With a heavy sigh, he started the car and drove towards his father's house. In stark contrast to his own home, his father's mansion was decorated in brilliant, blinding white. He walked past his stepmother, Amelia's mother, as if she were a stranger. She immediately bristled. Well, it's clear you weren't raised with any manners. Liam stopped and turned. What did you say? I didn't say anything. The way you treated me in the past. The only reason I haven't paid you back is because of Amelia. Don't push it. Oh, you act as if you're so righteous. The truth is, you don't have any power to do anything. To you, Amelia isn't even your sister. Think whatever you want, he said, his voice cold. But don't try to start trouble with me. He walked straight to his father's study. Mr. Evans was waiting for him. Liam opened the door and walked in. His father was standing by the window, looking out. Did you have to cause a scene with your stepmother the moment you arrived? Have you no respect for me? What is it, Dad? Why did you call me here? Kiara is coming to visit soon, and that has something to do with me. The two of you. You could say you were childhood sweethearts. More than that, our grandfathers arranged a marriage for you two. You've been engaged to Kiara since you were children. Liam laughed, a short, sharp, humorless sound. You've got to be kidding me. You're bringing up some childhood promise now? What century are we living in? It was just a joke between old men. It wasn't a joke, Liam. It's a promise that directly affects the future growth of our company, and it will bring great benefits to our family. I'm not meeting her. As Liam turned to leave, his father's voice boomed across the room. If you dare to refuse this marriage, I will have your 30% of the company shares withdrawn. Even if it bankrupts us, I will not have a puppet who defies my arrangements. Liam turned back, his eyes blazing. He walked right up to his father's desk and stared him straight in the eye. I've been through worse things in my life than bankruptcy. Don't you dare use your tricks to threaten or intimidate me. When a man is pushed into a corner, he's capable of anything. He left without having dinner with his father. Mr. Evans didn't seem angry. He just watched his son go with a strange, contemplative expression. So, Liam had truly grown up. He was strong now, determined to protect his own decisions. His stepmother, Mai, came into the study. Are you all right? Why did you let him leave so easily? He was so disrespectful to you. If it were Amelia, how would you have reacted? Mr. Evans asked quietly. If Liam were your son, what would you do? Mai fell silent. Why? Why are you asking me that? I've always treated him as my son. Have you really, Mai? Have you ever truly seen Liam as your son? What's gotten into you? Don't think I don't know about the things you've done. It's a stroke of luck that Liam and Amelia have a good relationship. If they didn't, I wouldn't have let you off so easily. I take care of you every day. I do everything for this family. And now you're blaming me for everything. Get out. Mai left, her heart filled with resentment. She hated Liam even more now. Blood is thicker than water. No matter what tricks she pulled, she could never break them apart. In the end, she was just an outsider who had come to Mr. Evans with a child. If it weren't for Amelia, there would be nothing connecting them. Liam drove through the night, the city lights a blur. He suddenly slammed on the brakes. A small, rickety cart selling baked buns was on the side of the road. The old woman selling them looked frightened when she saw Liam get out of his car. What is it? I'm just a small-time vendor. I don't have any money. Do I look like a robber to you, ma'am? You're not one of the protection racket guys, are you? Protection racket. There's been a rumor going around the past few days that we have to pay a fee to sell here. I don't know what to do. If that happens, ma'am, you should contact the authorities. I'm just a regular person who wants to buy some buns. Oh, thank goodness. How many would you like? Give me 10. She quickly packed the buns into a bag, thanking him profusely. Just then, the wind picked up, and dark clouds rolled in. It looked like a storm was coming. Liam looked at the old woman, then back at his car. Make it 20, he said. He wanted her to be able to go home early. Everyone had their own struggles in life. Some days were lucky, some were just sad. A few minutes later, he was home. Taylor was in the living room, feeding Balthazar. "What are you doing?" he asked, startled. "I'm feeding Balthazar." "Why are you feeding him that?" "His food is in the cupboard. I've been feeding him rice for the past few days. What's wrong?" "He can't eat rice." "But he can. He loves it." She reached out and stroked Balthazar's head. Today, the cat seemed remarkably docile. Liam was furious. "That's a very expensive cat. If something happens to him, you won't be able to pay for it." Taylor picked up Balthazar and held him close. "You'd better not get sick, you hear me? I don't have any money." Liam felt a wave of helplessness wash over him. It wasn't that Balthazar couldn't eat rice. It was just that his digestive system was sensitive. "Next time," he said, his voice tight with frustration, "just give him the cat food." "I know. I won't feed him anything else from now on." She looked at the cat. "But why is he so well behaved now? He usually hates me. I played with him today, with a ball of yarn. He just wants someone to play with. He just wants company," Liam thought to himself. He went upstairs to change. The bag of buns was still on the table. When he came back down, Taylor was fiddling with a broken flashlight. "What are you doing?" "I'm fixing the flashlight. You know how to do that." "I used to tinker with things a lot. At home, I'd fix everything until it couldn't be fixed anymore, before throwing it away." She was so frugal. Even here, surrounded by luxury, she held on to her old habits. She knew Liam was rich, but she also knew that earning money required sweat and effort. It didn't just fall from the sky. "Have a bun," he said, pushing the bag towards her. "Wow, why did you buy so many?" 20 of them. They're good. Try one." She washed her hands and took a bite. Liam watched her expression closely. There was nothing special about it. "Is it not good?" "It's good. But I could make them better. Really. My mother loved to eat buns. I had to learn how to make all kinds of them, to keep her happy." "You should open a shop," he said impulsively. Taylor's eyes lit up. Maybe I could sell them online. I really want to find another job, so I can pay off my debt faster. I'm paying you a salary for your time here. If you spend that time working another job, you'll have to pay me back." "Oh no, please," she begged. "I need to earn this money. Can you help me?" He considered it for a moment. "All right, but on one condition." "What condition?" "Be my girlfriend." "What? Me? Didn't you say you'd agree to any condition? Are you refusing already?" "No, it's not that, but this. I need to take you to meet my father. So, prepare yourself." You remember what I promised, right? The day you saved me from that place, I've never forgotten it. I swore I would work like an animal to repay you. It doesn't need to be that dramatic. But this time, you absolutely must do as I say." Taylor fell silent. "I'm hungry," Liam said, changing the subject. "Is dinner ready?" She quickly set the table, her mind still reeling from his proposal. She knew he was probably confused, but he didn't feel the need to explain himself. During dinner, she ate very little, as usual. He didn't understand how she could function on so little food. The moment she put her bowl down, he stopped her. "Have another bowl." "I'm full." "No, you're not." "But I am. My father doesn't like thin women," he said bluntly. "He wants a daughter-in-law who looks healthy." Do I really have to meet your father? If you don't, I'll have to marry someone else, and that would make it very difficult for you to continue staying here. Actually, if you and she are in love, I would be happy to leave. I don't want to be a burden on your life. Unfortunately for you, I have no feelings for her whatsoever, which is why you have to be my girlfriend." He served her another bowl of rice. "Finish this, then you can do whatever you want." After dinner, as she was cleaning up, she saw Liam in the garden. It was the first time she had ever seen him smoke. He looked thoughtful, contemplative, a side of him he rarely showed. The issues with his father clearly weighed heavily on him. She took a jacket and brought it out to him. This small gesture of concern seemed to touch him. "If you're just trying to get on my good side, you don't have to. I don't want you to get sick." "And why is that?" "Worried that if I'm sick, I won't be able to pay you." Liam smirked. "I'm not going to go bankrupt that easily, but it's miserable being sick." "Are you worried you'll have to take care of me?" Taylor shook her head. "No, I can take care of you anytime." He took the jacket and draped it over her shoulders instead. "Go inside. If you get sick, there will be no one to cook." There were still so many things bothering him. She went inside, but he remained in the garden, a solitary figure in the dark. What kind of burdens was he carrying behind that strong, stoic facade? She fell asleep on the sofa. She wanted to go to her room, but she was too anxious to be alone. In the end, he was the one who had to carry her upstairs again. "I'm beginning to think you're doing this on purpose, just to get close to me," he murmured. But Taylor was fast asleep and didn't hear him. She looked so innocent, so naive, even after everything she had been through. "I hope you have a good life from now on," he thought. "You have to be strong to overcome your fate, and I will help you do that." He closed her door and went back to his own room. Taylor slept until morning, waking to the delicious aroma of something cooking. She bolted upright and ran downstairs to the kitchen. Liam was at the stove, frying eggs. It was only 6 in the morning, not even that late, but she felt a pang of guilt. She rushed to his side. "This is my job. Are you trying to fire me?" "You're so noisy this early in the morning," he grumbled, not looking at her. "Go and sit down. I'll finish the rest." "I want steamed buns," he said, turning off the stove. "You make them. I'll fry the eggs." A wave of relief washed over her. "You're not going to fire me? I haven't made that rule yet." "Thank you," she beamed. "What kind of filling do you want? Pork or sweet bean?" "Both." She started kneading the dough, her movements practiced and sure. Soon, she was so engrossed in her work that she didn't notice the dusting of flour that had settled in her hair. Liam came up behind her and reached out to brush it away. She flinched, pulling back. "What's wrong? What are you afraid I'm going to do?" he asked, his voice soft. He gently brushed the flour from her hair, his fingers lingering for a moment. Then, his thumb grazed her cheek. "You've got flour on your face too. You're such a klutz." "My parents used to say I was clumsy," she said, a sad smile touching her lips. I guess they were right. Whenever she mentioned her parents, a shadow would pass over her face. But time had passed, and she was slowly getting used to the ache of their absence. An hour later, the buns were ready. She placed one on a plate and gave it to Liam. "Try it. It's good with some pickled vegetables." "You seem to know how to do everything," he remarked, taking a bite. "I only know how to cook a few simple things." The buns were soft and fluffy, the fillings perfectly seasoned, the bean paste not too sweet, the pork savory and juicy. Taylor watched him, her eyes wide with anticipation. "Well, do you think I could sell these?" Liam nodded. "You could." It wouldn't have been difficult for Liam to set up a professional social media presence for her, to get her business off the ground quickly. But he wanted her to figure it out for herself. Things that come too easily are rarely appreciated, and it never once occurred to Taylor to ask for his help. Day after day, she posted on her newly created social media page. She didn't have many friends or followers. She mostly sent friend requests to people in the local area. Her posts consisted of a single, blurry photo and a few uninspired words. Liam shook his head as he scrolled through her feed. You really think people are going to buy your products with posts like this? What's wrong with them? What should I do? Figure it out yourself, he said. That night, because of his words, Taylor didn't sleep. After a long, tiring day of housework, she stayed up, researching how people sold things online. The next morning, as Liam was leaving his room, she ran up to him, her face bright with excitement. I know what to do now, she announced, grinning from ear to ear. He frowned. Did you sleep at all last night? She touched her face. Is it that obvious? You have dark circles under your eyes like a panda. She just laughed. He gently tapped her on the forehead. Are you trying to get sick, so I'll have to take care of you? No. You told me I had to think for myself, so I stayed up all night doing what you said. And what did you realize? I'm going to learn how to make beautiful videos. The first step is to make a good impression on people. Liam nodded, satisfied. That's a good start. Do you need any help? I don't know how to shoot videos. Someone will come and teach you. Thank you. How are you going to thank me? I'll make every kind of cake and pastry I know how to make for you to try. That's an attractive offer, he said with a smirk. All right, tomorrow I want a savory rice pyramid cake. The doorbell rang. Taylor ran to answer it and found an older man standing on the doorstep. He looked very much like Liam. It must be his father. Seeing a young woman at his son's house, he immediately jumped to conclusions. This must be the reason Liam was refusing his arranged marriage. I'll get Mr. Evans, Taylor stammered, about to turn and run. No need, the man said, his voice stern. I'll talk to you. They sat in the living room, the silence thick and heavy. What's your name? Mr. Evans asked. Taylor, sir. How old are you? 25. How long have you been here? For a little while now. And what is your relationship with my son? She's my girlfriend. Liam's voice came from the top of the stairs. Mr. Evans looked up, his face darkening with anger. You have a girlfriend, and you didn't tell me. I'm an adult dad. I'm over 30, not a 3-year-old child. Do I need to get your permission to have a girlfriend? You should at least let me know. Mr. Evans turned his glare back to Taylor. What do you do for a living? What do your parents do? Where is your family from? Dad, don't interrogate her. Her family background is very ordinary. There's no question of our families being a good match, but she's the person I like, and no one can come between us. I haven't said anything yet. I'm just preempting you. Don't you think that, in my mind, you're always an authoritarian? So, you mean you approve? It's fine, but it will only happen if the two of you have a child together. You're always like this. It's a perfectly normal thing for a parent to want. His father's tone shifted. Perhaps you should reserve that accusatory tone for when I actually oppose your relationship with her. He paused. Why did you come here today, Dad? Do I need a reason to visit my own son? When did you start caring so much about me? And another thing, stop telling Uncle Howard to come and spy on me. I didn't tell him to do that. He came on his own. So he has other motives? It wasn't you behind it? No. If that's the case, I'll deal with it. After his father left, Liam turned to me. I suppose that's that, then. But he was wrong. As soon as Liam was out of sight, his father came back. Taylor opened the door for him again. They sat in the same seats as before. Mr. Evans pushed a thick envelope across the coffee table towards her. You can go anywhere you want. I know it wasn't easy to find someone as good as my son, but this money is enough for you to start a new life. Taylor stared at the envelope. Are you hesitating? Mr. Evans asked, his voice hardening. You and my son are not a good match. You're too common. I'll give you one day to think about it. But let me be clear. I will never agree to this marriage. I can make you lose everything you have." That day, Taylor felt a profound sadness. She wasn't the main character in this drama. She was just a pawn in their game. But it still affected her. She threw herself into her baking. In just one day, she received over 100 orders. She had posted on a local community page, hoping to sell a few. To her surprise, a charity group contacted her and bought the entire batch. She sold it to them at cost, just enough to cover her ingredients. It took her hours to clean up the kitchen. When Liam got home, everything was back in its place. He noticed the strange expression on her face. He looked her straight in the eye, not giving her a chance to look away. "Why did you cry?" She quickly shook her head. "I didn't cry. Some dust fell into my eye when I was cleaning." "Really?" "Yes, but there's something I don't know if I should tell you. After all, we're not really in a relationship. Stop beating around the bush and just say it. After you left, your father came back. He met with you privately." "What for?" "He said if I left, he would give me a sum of money to start a new life. He said we're not a good match, and he doesn't want me to stay here." Liam laughed, a bitter, cynical sound. "He even wants to control my love life, and yet he puts on this act of respecting my decisions. He's not wrong, you know. Any father would want his son to find a suitable partner. And what is suitable?" Liam shot back. "A marriage of convenience? A business arrangement? Do you think that's what happiness is?" Taylor admired Liam's strength of will. Although she didn't know the details of his life, she could sense that he had walked a very lonely path. She had made 6 different kinds of pastries that day. Although she had sold most of them, she had saved a few of each for Liam. He was curious. "Did you sell all the cakes?" "I didn't make any profit today, but I made back the money for the ingredients. It's not a great start, but it's something. At least someone was willing to eat my baking. Just make sure it's hygienic," he said. "Of course it is. Try some." He'd been at work all day and was hungry. The taste of each pastry was delicious, perfectly balanced. He nodded in approval. "If you just tweak the flavors a little more, they'll be perfect. You could open a small shop in front of the house." On the weekend, Liam didn't go to work. He sat on the sofa, watching Taylor buzz around the kitchen. She was kneading dough, then standing by the stove, sweat beading on her forehead, her hands moving constantly, never resting. She wasn't the woman he loved, not someone he planned to spend the rest of his life with, but there was a strange similarity between them. When she turned and smiled at him, he felt a strange flutter in his chest. The world outside was full of storms, but in this house, he would try to keep things calm. She was preparing an order for the neighbors across the street. It was their grandson's birthday. It was a simple order, one she could manage with the equipment she had. "If you do well with this," Liam said, "I'll help you get all the modern machinery you need." That afternoon, she didn't even have time to eat. She worked tirelessly until the evening. When everything was finally done, she let out a sigh of relief. And then she remembered with a jolt. She hadn't cooked lunch for him. She had promised to handle both jobs, but she had failed. She went upstairs. He was at his computer, his face grim, lost in thought. She didn't dare to disturb him. She went back downstairs, made a bowl of instant noodles, and brought it up to him. He had just finished his work. She looked at him guiltily. "I'm sorry. I won't make this mistake again." "What mistake?" "I didn't cook you lunch. Now that you mention it, you starved me." She put the bowl of noodles on his desk. "Eat this. I'll make a big dinner tonight to make it up to you." The noodles had an egg and some vegetables in them. Just then, her stomach growled loudly. He pushed the bowl towards her. You eat. But I already ate. You're going to starve to death. From now on, no matter what you're doing, don't skip meals. It's not good for you. Once again, she was moved to tears. Don't cry, he said, sounding awkward. I don't know how to comfort people. She quickly wiped her eyes. Good things are happening to me now, and I'm afraid I'm going to lose myself. When he was alive, my father told me that no matter what happens, I have to live a good life and not do anything wrong. I tried so hard. Even when they treated me so badly, I think you misunderstood your father's meaning, Liam said gently. Staying silent when people treat you badly isn't being good. It's being foolish. So that's what he wanted to tell her. He could be an incredibly kind person, but he hid it behind a cold exterior. Only Taylor, who was with him every day, could sense it. She ate the noodles. They tasted not just of seasoning, but of Liam's kindness. She delivered the cake to the neighbors. When they paid her, she was so happy she practically skipped all the way home. From his window on the second floor, Liam watched her. When she smiled, he found himself smiling too. The neighbors were friends of his. The order was a favor he had asked them to do. He just wanted to give her a little encouragement, something he had never done for any other woman. The moment she got back, she ran to find him and tried to give him the money. You keep it, but it's your money. Keep it and write it down in a ledger, how much you spent on ingredients, how much profit you made. I'll tally it all up at the end of the month. Yes, sir, and do a good job. If you're at a loss at the end of the month, I'll add it to your debt. Hearing that made her a little anxious. She wondered if she would get any more orders before the end of the month. Every day that passed was a milestone in Taylor's life. Her determination to change her life grew stronger and stronger. She was always responsible in her work. In the evenings, when Liam came home, dinner was always ready and waiting for him. After dinner, she would start preparing for the next day's orders, soaking the flour that needed it, arranging her ingredients. She was so focused that she didn't even notice when he came into the kitchen. A thief could break in and you wouldn't even know it. She jumped. You're home. I'll get your bath water ready. No need. Get back to what you were doing. She noticed his hand was bandaged and rushed over to him. What happened to your hand? I accidentally walked into a broken pane of glass. It's nothing. Did you go to the hospital? It's a small cut. No need for a hospital. Let me clean and redress it for you. She got the first aid kit. The wound was not as small as he had claimed. It was a long, deep gash. Just looking at it made her wince. Does it hurt a lot? She applied the antiseptic, gently blowing on it, afraid that the slightest pressure would cause him pain. Liam just watched her, his gaze unwavering. When she looked up and met his eyes, she asked, "Tell me if it hurts." "Actually," he said, his voice low, "it does hurt a little now. I'll be gentler." She wrapped the bandage around his hand. "We'll have to clean it again tomorrow. If we're not careful, it could get infected. You seem to be very skilled at this." His question made her mood plummet. "What's wrong?" he asked. "Before, I often had to bandage my own wounds. They hit you?" "No, I was just clumsy," she said, a sad smile on her face. "I used to think that was just my fate, that there was no way to escape it, so I should just accept it. Maybe it was my parents, watching over me from heaven, who pushed me to run away." Liam placed a hand on her shoulder. "Don't be afraid. No one can bully you anymore." His words, so firm and certain, gave her a new strength. She had someone in her corner now. Before, when Liam came home, he would have to cook dinner and eat alone. On bad days, he would lie on the sofa and listen to sad music. Now, with Taylor here, There was never a moment when he didn't have someone to talk to. The pressure, the stress that he had always felt, seemed to have vanished as if it had never existed. A small bakery was built in front of the house. Liam bought all the necessary equipment. Not wanting to make her feel awkward, he took out his ledger and wrote down the cost. Of course, the price he wrote down was only a third of the actual cost. "Why is it so cheap?" she asked, looking at the numbers. "So you want it to be more expensive?" "No, it's just, I'm a CEO. It's only natural that I get things cheaper than the market price." "Yes, sir. I'll work hard to pay you back as soon as possible." Her debt was growing larger and larger. It seemed she would have to work very hard for a very long time. "As long as I have my health, I won't stop working. The day I pay off all my debts, I'm going to drink a glass of wine in one go and then sleep until morning without a single worry in the world." Every time he talked to her, Liam felt a growing desire to protect her, to shelter her. In his heart, she had carved out a very special place. Some time passed. Mr. Evans didn't come to see Taylor again. The one-day deadline he had given her to think things over had come and gone, and she had forgotten all about it. One morning, just as she was setting up her display of pastries in the new shop, a group of rough-looking men appeared. Without a word, they began to smash everything. They overturned tables, threw pastries on the ground, and shattered the glass display case. Then their leader pointed a menacing finger at her. "You get out of this place. If you don't, you put out your cakes, and we'll be back to smash them every single day." And then they were gone. She stared at the wreckage, her heart aching, all her hard work trampled into the dirt. She took a photo of the mess to send to her customers, explaining that she couldn't fulfill their orders today. The disappointment was a heavy weight in her chest. Why had this happened? She thought back, and then she remembered. Mr. Evans, he had said he would make her lose everything if she didn't obey him. She didn't tell Liam what had happened, but when he came home and saw the shattered glass and crushed pastries in front of the gate, he immediately checked the security cameras. He strode into the house and found her in the kitchen, her face pale and drawn. "Why didn't you call me when it happened?" he demanded. "You were at work. I didn't want to bother you with more problems. They came all the way here to cause trouble, Taylor. Do you realize how humiliating that is for me? I'm not the only one who wants you to leave this place. You know who's behind this, don't you?" She knew. She knew very well, but she didn't dare say it. Liam stood up. "I'm going to see my father." "Don't go," she pleaded, grabbing his arm. "It's not his fault. He just wants you to marry someone who is your equal. It's not about that. It's about him wanting to control me." Ignoring her protests, Liam walked out. He drove straight to his father's house. When he arrived, his father was having dinner with Amelia and her mother, Mai. "You're here," his father said, his tone neutral. "Sit down, have some dinner. I need to talk to you." "Can't it wait until after we've eaten?" "Whatever it is, it can be discussed on a full stomach." "Did you send your men to smash my girlfriend's bakery?" "What are you talking about? I don't understand." "Cut the act, Dad. I know they work for you. And what are you going to do about it? Call the police? Have me arrested? I will never set foot in this house again. And you will no longer have a son named Liam. I do everything for your own good. You know that. Does she do anything for me? Does she help my career? Does she make me money? Not everything in life can be measured in money, Liam. You've spent your whole life calculating, planning. In the end, are you happy?" Mr. Evans fell silent. Mai watched him intently, waiting for his answer. He said nothing. Mai stood up, her voice trembling. "Why don't you answer him? Are you not happy? Are you not happy living with me?" "This doesn't concern you, Mai. Don't interfere." She stood up and went to her room. She had never involved herself in their arguments before, not because she didn't want to, but because she had no right. Although Mr. Evans doted on her, he was a stubborn, conservative man who never listened to his children's opinions. Mai went to her room, feeling hurt and resentful. Now, it was just Liam and his father. "You're determined to marry that girl, aren't you?" "Yes. If that's the case, I'll make her disappear from your life." "The moment you do that," Liam said, his voice dangerously low, "I will disappear from yours." "You're threatening me? Over a girl? I'm a grown man, Dad. I'm not a child waiting for you to feed me. Since I was young, I've never known the warmth of a family. All I want is to be with someone who makes me feel at peace." "Is that such a crime? Don't hurt her. Just this once. Do it for me." Mr. Evans thought that Liam had developed deep feelings for Taylor, that he was willing to defy everything for her. He had no idea that his son was doing all of this to escape his control, to finally live a free and happy life on his own terms. 6 months passed. Taylor's bakery was running smoothly. She baked, and she delivered her own orders. The work was tiring, but she constantly reminded herself to keep going. Mr. Evans no longer came to bother her. He didn't ask when they were getting married. The pretense of her being Liam's girlfriend had served its purpose and was now practically obsolete. Then one day, while she was out on a delivery, she saw someone who made her blood run cold. She wanted to run, to hide, but it was too late. He had already seen her. Raymond. He ran towards her and grabbed her wrist, his grip like iron. "I found you, Taylor. Let go of me. Go home. Stop making a scene and come home with me. Let me go. Go back and be your mother's good little boy. Go and be a happy husband to your new wife. You are my wife. And don't you forget, you still owe my family money. I will pay you back every cent. Just leave me alone." "Not a chance. You're coming home with me right now." I'll scream. "You lived with me for 2 years. Are you going to pretend there was nothing between us? You're an ungrateful bitch. If it wasn't for my family, where would you have gotten the money to pay for your parents' medical bills? For their funeral? Yes. And because I was grateful, I lived in your house for 2 years in shame and misery. And you were my husband. But did you ever once stand up for me? Did you ever dare to protect me? Without your mother, you're nothing. I've been looking for you for 6 months, Taylor. I don't want to live with that other woman. I just want you to come back. Even if you have to suffer a little, at least you'd be close to your parents' home. Now that you're gone, who's going to light incense for them? You don't need to worry about that. My parents will understand." Raymond refused to let her go. They struggled on the street. An old woman, one of Taylor's regular customers, saw them and came over. "Is everything all right here, dear?" Raymond rounded on her. "This is none of your business, old woman." "Hey, I'll call the police. How dare you manhandle a young woman in the middle of the street? She's my wife. I'm taking her home. What's wrong with that? Your wife?" The woman looked at Taylor, her expression doubtful. Taylor immediately shook her head. "No, I have no relationship with this man. In that case, I'm calling the police." Raymond instantly let go of her. "What for? If you don't want to end up at the station, you'd better go somewhere else. A grown man like you, bullying a girl?" The moment she was free, Taylor ran. She ran all the way home, not realizing that Raymond was following her. When he saw the house she ran into, he couldn't believe his eyes. How could she be living in a place like this? Had her relatives moved to the city? That couldn't be right. Raymond knew everything about Taylor's family, or lack thereof. He paced back and forth in front of the house. Just then, Liam drove up, Raymond ran and stood in front of his car. Liam got out. Who are you? And why is my wife in your house? What's your relationship with her? Who are you referring to? Liam asked, his voice dangerously calm. Taylor. Liam looked the man up and down, a flicker of contempt in his eyes. So this was the man who had caused Taylor so much pain. He was even more pathetic than he had imagined. Are you done staring? Raymond snapped. Yes. Now, call my wife out here. I'm taking her home. Wife? Are you two legally married? That's none of your business. She owes my family money. Not just money, but a debt of gratitude. A debt she can never repay in this lifetime. She owes you money, that's true. But a debt of gratitude? I think not. The way you treated her, and the way she treated you, that debt has been paid in full. You seem to know a lot about my family's business. Your relationship with her is not normal, is it? Stealing another man's wife. Aren't you afraid of what society will say about you? Raymond looked at the grand house, then back at Liam. A man with a house like this. You're not lacking for women. Why my wife? Wife this, wife that. Anyone who didn't know better would think you actually loved her. I will pay you the money, every last cent. And let me repeat myself. She owes your family nothing. I don't want the money. I want her. Do you think you have a choice? She is a human being, not an object. You can't just do whatever you want with her. Liam opened the gate and drove his car in. As he was closing it, Raymond tried to run inside. Liam effortlessly pushed him back. The gate swung shut, but he could still hear Raymond's frantic screams from the other side. I'll call the police. I'll tell everyone about this. You think because you're rich, you can do whatever you want? Liam paid him no mind. He hadn't kidnapped Taylor. What grounds did the police have to come after him? In the distance, a figure was watching Raymond. He was still screaming and shouting. As he turned to leave, he saw the person watching him. He started to walk towards her. She was a woman he recognized, a woman who could be his ally. She held out her hand. Kiara, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. How can we work together? What's in it for me? You still want to get your wife back, don't you? I'm going to take you to meet someone. All you have to do is tell him the truth about your relationship with her. Who am I meeting? The father of the man you were just arguing with. Raymond immediately agreed. Kiara smiled, pleased. She drove him to Mr. Evans's house. On the way, she asked him a lot of questions about Taylor. Of course, Raymond didn't tell her about the years of misery. He lied, painting a picture of a happy marriage that had never existed. Standing in front of Mr. Evans's mansion, Raymond was in awe. This was the kind of wealth he could only dream of. Kiara led him inside. His sudden appearance surprised everyone. Mr. Evans, Mai, and Amelia were all at home. I apologize for coming without an appointment, Mr. Evans, Kiara said, her voice smooth as silk. But today, I happened to meet this man. He is Taylor's husband. Mr. Evans, Mai, and Amelia were all stunned. Taylor's husband? Ever since I returned to the country, I've been quietly following Liam. I wanted to see him, but I never dared. Today, I happened to overhear the conversation between Liam and this man, so I decided to bring him here to meet you. That woman has cast some kind of spell on Liam, making him trust her so blindly. Mr. Evans immediately turned to Raymond. Are you really that girl's husband? Raymond nodded and quickly showed Mr. Evans the photos from their wedding. We just had a small argument. I never thought she would run off to the city and become your son's girlfriend. I've begged her to come home, but she refuses. Please, tell your son to let my wife go. Shut up, Mr. Evans roared. You think my son seduced your wife? How ridiculous. I won't let her get away with this. Kiara's face lit up with triumph. Her goal was within reach. She could finally get close to Liam now. She'd been back in the country for 6 months, but she hadn't had a single opportunity to meet with him privately. It was as if he had completely forgotten she existed. She felt insulted, and she wasn't one to give up easily. She had been having both Liam and Taylor followed, which was how she had found Raymond. Mr. Evans immediately drove to Liam's house. Amelia, afraid that her father would hurt Taylor, went with him. They rang the doorbell incessantly. Taylor ran to the door and saw Mr. Evans, his face contorted with rage. Beside him, Amelia was frantically signaling for her to go inside and get Liam. "Open this door," Mr. Evans yelled. "You manipulative, scheming woman. Are you trying to ruin my son's life? Please, sir, wait a moment. Let me open the gate." The moment the gate opened, Mr. Evans stormed in. "You have a husband, yet you're seducing my son. Are you trying to tarnish his reputation? Please, sir, calm down. Let me explain. I was going to let him make his own decisions, but now, don't even think about it. I won't let a woman like you ruin his life." Liam came running out of the house. He immediately pulled Taylor behind him. "Dad, come inside. We'll talk." "There's nothing to talk about. I want you to throw this woman out of your house right now. Please, Dad. Come inside." Mr. Evans went inside, but his eyes, filled with disgust, never left Taylor. He sat opposite her and began his interrogation. "All right, now say what you have to say." "It has nothing to do with her," Liam said firmly. "I knew everything about her past, and I still accepted her. She didn't lie to me or deceive me." "Are you insane?" his father yelled. "At first, I just thought she was some poor girl, but she's a married woman who ran away from her husband." "It's not what you think, Dad. She's been through a lot." "How much? Tell me." Things had gone too far. There was no turning back now. Liam was about to tell his father the whole truth, but Taylor quickly stopped him. "I'll tell you," she said, her voice shaking but clear. "Everything I'm about to say is the truth. If I tell a single lie, may I be struck down where I stand." She told them everything. Mr. Evans and Amelia were speechless. Even Liam couldn't believe she had endured so much. When he had asked her before, she had been evasive. He wanted nothing more than to pull her into his arms and hold her. What kind of person doesn't have a heart? Even Mr. Evans himself felt a pang of sympathy as he listened to her story. "Is what you just told me the truth?" he asked, his voice softer now. "I swear it is. If I find out you're lying, I will not let you off easy." "You can investigate for yourself, sir. Everyone in that town knows how they treated me." Mr. Evans stood up and left. He was confused, conflicted. In the car, he turned to Amelia. "What do you think? All we have to do is pay them back the money she owes. How could anyone live such a miserable life? He calls himself a husband, but he couldn't even protect his wife. If it were me, I'd make him wish he were dead. The problem is, Kiara knows about this now. If it gets out, it will be a huge embarrassment for our family. Reputation is important, Dad, but don't you feel sorry for Taylor? Liam would never let her go back to that life. How long are you going to oppose them? You can't just accept a daughter-in-law like that because of this. No one wants to go through something like that, Dad. Besides, I think she has a lot of willpower. Even though she's my brother's girlfriend, she still works every day, baking and delivering her own cakes. She's not useless, like you thought. What is it about her that has both you and Liam defending her so fiercely? I'm just telling the truth, Dad. Emotions can lead to bad decisions. I don't want to have any regrets." Mr. Evans fell into a deep, troubled silence. At first, he had been determined to get Taylor out of Liam's life immediately. But now, he was hesitating. Her story had touched him. To have endured so much hardship, she was truly a pitiful creature. Dad, Liam is a grown man. He's not a child anymore. Let him make his own decisions. When you're gone, do you think he'll be able to maintain this momentum? Don't you see everything he's achieved over the past few years? Liam is a strong, decisive man. He won't disappoint you. Young people these days always think they're so clever. After they had gone, the house was quiet again. Taylor looked at Liam, her heart filled with guilt. I'm sorry. Because of me, you have to deal with so much trouble. It's fine, he said gently. Even without you, these arguments would still happen. But now, that man has found you. What are you going to do? I don't have the money to pay them back yet. I don't know what to do. The money isn't the problem. I want to know what you're thinking. Do you want to go back to him? Taylor shook her head vehemently. No, I don't. I'll take care of it. You won't have to see him again. I'll talk to him about a repayment schedule. You just stay here, and you are not to see him. Not even once. Raymond's appearance had made Liam furious. He wanted to resolve this matter quickly so that he could go back to the peaceful life he had before. Raymond was still standing outside Liam's gate. It was the middle of the night, and he was ringing the doorbell non-stop. The person who opened the door was not the person he wanted to see. Liam stood there, his eyes like chips of ice. Raymond glared back at him. Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you have money. I'm not afraid of you. How much do you want? I'll pay you in full. Just stop bothering Taylor. I told you, I don't need the money. My family doesn't need the money. Is that so? If I'm not mistaken, the goods you're selling, they don't have a clear origin, do they? What do you think would happen if I reported this to the authorities? You're talking nonsense. What do you know about my business? From the moment you appeared, I had you investigated. I know where your family lives, how many relatives you have. I know where you get your supplies. Do you need me to list a few for you? Everything Liam said was true. Raymond was smuggling illegal goods to make a bigger profit. He had no way to prove their origin. But still, he bluffed. You can't just cover the sky with one hand. She is my wife. I will take her back. Then don't blame me for not giving you a chance to turn back. Liam closed the gate and went inside. Raymond rang the bell a few more times, but was eventually chased away by the neighborhood watch. The next day, he came back. Liam's patience was wearing thin. Without saying a word to Taylor, he took matters into his own hands. Soon after, Raymond's warehouse was raided by the police. It was only then that he realized Liam hadn't been bluffing. He was repeatedly called in for questioning. Even if he wanted to, he couldn't bother Taylor anymore. And this was just the beginning. Taylor had to work harder than ever to establish her bakery in the hearts of her customers. Looking back, she realized how weak and foolish she had been before. Eleanor got the address from Raymond and came to find Taylor. The person Taylor never wanted to see again had finally appeared. The bakery had gotten busy enough that she had started hiring a delivery service, selling her pastries directly from the shop. The first person to arrive that day wasn't a customer. It was Eleanor. The moment she saw her, a familiar knot of fear tightened in Taylor's stomach. She took a deep breath, trying to school her features into a mask of neutrality. Eleanor walked up to the counter, a sneer on her face. Well, look at you, all dressed up in nice clothes. She paused, her eyes raking over Taylor. You see me, and you don't even bother to say hello? Or have you forgotten that you still owe me a large sum of money? She stood directly in front of Taylor, holding out a ledger. I'm going to sell that house your parents worked their whole lives to build. I will pay you back, Taylor said, her voice steady. Just give me a little more time. You used to call me Mom, today your tone is so distant. You have a new daughter-in-law. Please, just let me go. In your dreams, you are the person I hate most in this world. Don't you dare think you can live a happy life here. That man, he probably doesn't know what a pathetic life you've had. He's with you, isn't he? Aren't you afraid of karma, Eleanor? Karma? I helped your family, and instead of being thanked, I get karma. You truly are an ungrateful wretch. I'm tired of the years I spent living in your house, Taylor said, her voice rising. I was treated no better than an animal. Now, if you want to sell the house, then sell it. You won't even keep the house to honor your parents' memory? You are an unfilial daughter. If your parents could see you from heaven, they would be so ashamed. I will work hard and buy another house, but I will not continue to be a weak puppet in your hands. Now that you're living in a big house, you've forgotten the people who gave you life, haven't you? Stop it, Taylor said, her voice firm. I'm not the same foolish girl who used to live in constant fear of you. I will pay you back the money and the deed to the house. You should give it back to Taylor. Liam's voice, cold and sharp, cut through the tense air. He had stepped out from the back of the shop. Eleanor spun around, her eyes wide with shock. And who are you? I'm the one who will be paying off Taylor's debt for her. Do you know that interfering in another family's affairs is a crime? I think you're mistaken about something. What relationship does she have with your son? He's living with another woman. By all accounts, both legally and morally, Taylor has done nothing wrong. You're very glib, aren't you? Eleanor spat. No wonder she's so infatuated with you. You want to pay off her debt, do you? Fine. I'll calculate the interest. No need. I'll pay you double what she owes. So generous. What is it about her that makes you willing to spend so much money? She has something that you and your family will never have in this lifetime. Decency. You insolent brat. Not all old people are worthy of respect. Haven't you ever heard that saying? This is my shop, and while I'm still speaking to you politely, you should leave. The debt hasn't been settled yet, and you're already trying to get rid of me? Don't even dream of it. Not wanting to be indebted to Liam any further, Taylor spoke up. I will sell the house myself and pay you back. I'll pay back whatever I owe. You can calculate the full interest. I'll pay every last cent. Fine, Eleanor said, a triumphant smirk on her face. You'd even sell your own parents' house. No matter what vitriol Eleanor spewed, Taylor's resolve didn't waver. She believed that even if her parents knew, they wouldn't blame her. She didn't want to accept Liam's help. It made him unhappy. Was she trying to draw a line between them? She made her decision. A week later, she went back to her hometown, sold the house, and paid Eleanor $150,000. The remaining money she would use to pay back Liam. Then, she would be free of debt. For 20-something years, her life had been a constant struggle. For the first time, she felt a glimmer of hope. With the money in her hand, Eleanor still didn't want to let Taylor go. Raymond was about to go to prison. Her new daughter-in-law didn't want to stay with her. Only Taylor was capable of taking care of her. She pushed the money back into Taylor's hands, her voice suddenly sweet and cloying. My dear child, all this time I was just testing you. Now I see that there's no one as good as you. Don't go. This money, sooner or later, it will all belong to you and Raymond anyway. I'm old. I can't take it with me when I die. It's because he's about to go to prison that you want to keep me, isn't it? Taylor said, her voice devoid of emotion. You want an unpaid servant who will devote her life to taking care of you. Don't say such harsh things. The city life isn't suitable for you. It's turned a sweet, gentle girl like you into this. I haven't changed. I'm just trying to be stronger. She left without another word. Nothing Eleanor said could sway her. After the investigation, everything Raymond owned was confiscated. He was no longer living a life of freedom. Eleanor, in her shock, fell ill. She was alone in that big, empty house, with no one to care for her. It was only then that she finally understood. After settling everything, Taylor returned to the city. She stood in front of Liam's house for a long time. It was possible that, after today, she would no longer be living here. When she was with Liam outside the house, he was never as close to her as he was now. She opened the door and stepped inside. The house was empty, silent. She missed him terribly. She sat on the sofa, her eyes fixed on the gate. It was almost 5 in the afternoon. When Liam's car pulled up, the gate opened automatically. He saw her, and his expression changed slightly. "When did you get back?" "About half an hour ago. I'll go and cook dinner." "No need. You must be tired from the journey. I'll cook." He went into the kitchen. She followed him, helping him wash the vegetables. "Is everything settled?" he asked, his back to her. Taylor nodded. "The house is sold. I've paid off the debt. From now on, I have no connection to them. I'm curious about one thing. Raymond was in business for many years. Why did he suddenly get into legal trouble?" "It's karma," she said simply. Liam didn't tell her it was his doing. She didn't need to know. With her soft heart, she would only find a way to feel guilty about it. After dinner, Liam peeled some fruit for her. Her pale, tired face told him everything he needed to know. "How did you sleep when you were back in your hometown?" "You look like you've lost weight. I stayed with my uncle and aunt. They were very good to me. You don't have to worry so much anymore. You can focus on doing what you love now." She took out the money she had prepared and placed it on the table in front of him. "I'm paying you back." It wasn't the way she had intended, but at least now she wouldn't have to lie awake at night, worrying about her debts. Liam stared at the money. If he accepted it, it would mean there was no longer any reason for Taylor to be with him. But if he didn't, she would always feel insecure. He hesitated for a moment. "Does paying me back mean you're not going to live here anymore?" "You saved me. You've helped me so much. I'll never forget what I owe you for the rest of my life. But this financial debt, it makes me anxious." Liam decided to take the money. He didn't want her to overthink things. Taylor let out a sigh of relief. Tonight, she could finally sleep soundly, but her sleep was fitful. She was no longer used to being here. She got out of bed and went out onto the balcony. She saw Liam sitting on the stone bench below, a half-smoked cigarette in his hand. Not wanting to disturb him, she went back inside. Her body was exhausted, and she soon fell into a deep sleep. At 6 in the morning, her alarm went off. She had been neglecting her duties for some time. Today, she wanted to make a nutritious breakfast. She bustled around the kitchen for an hour, and finally, everything was ready. Liam came downstairs, dressed impeccably for work. She immediately scanned his face for any signs of fatigue. He looked back at her. "Do you think I look particularly handsome today? Or is it that you missed me while I was away?" Taylor nodded. The honesty of her reaction surprised even herself. "I really did miss you." The words slipped out before she could stop them. She immediately backtracked, waving her hands frantically. "I didn't mean it the way you think. I'm just used to you being here. So when I was back home, I felt like something was missing." Liam was watching her, his expression unreadable. She tried to explain, but it was no use. He nodded, a slow, satisfied smile spreading across his face. "So, in the end, you did miss me." He walked towards her. She backed away until her back was against the wall. There was nowhere else to go. She could only lower her head. avoiding his intense gaze. He tilted her chin up, forcing her to look at him. "Actually," he said, his voice a low whisper, "I missed you too." Taylor was flustered, speechless. She didn't know if he was joking or being serious. She searched his eyes for an answer, but found none. Liam himself seemed to be in a daze. The gentle, sweet scent that always clung to her was wrapping around him. And the words he had just spoken, they were true. Was he really falling for her? Loving someone wasn't as hard as he had always thought. It came so naturally, so effortlessly. "Liam," Taylor's voice, small and hesitant, broke the silence. "Breakfast is getting cold." He stepped back and went to the table. She served him a small bowl of chicken congee. "I brought the organic eggs from my hometown. Congee with chicken is very nutritious. You should eat the whole bowl." Liam finished the entire bowl. He had always thought he would be single for the rest of his life. But when he met Taylor, he had somehow become a gentler, warmer person. He could say with certainty that he had fallen for the girl in front of him. A small smile played on his lips. "You're completely free now. No one will bother you anymore. From now on, I will protect you." Taylor nodded. Although he said that, she knew that one day he would meet a woman he truly loved, and they would each go their separate ways. "Why do you look so sad?" "I was just thinking about something," she said, hiding the truth. Some things were better left unsaid. Every morning, she woke up early. She baked, she cleaned the house, and she prepared a perfect breakfast. Her hard work paid off. With a stable income, she no longer had to worry about her next meal. She no longer had to wear tattered, old clothes. Everything she had today was thanks to Liam's help, and yet he never once brought it up. He was always so gentle with her. One day, not long after, Kiara came to find Liam. She stood before him, her hair a mess, her expensive clothes wrinkled and stained. "Liam," she cried, "what are you doing here? I know I shouldn't have brought him to see your father, but I did it all because I love you. That contract, can you give it back to my father? His company is on the verge of bankruptcy. From the very beginning, you shouldn't have gotten involved in my affairs. Our relationship has always been, and will always be, nothing. You know that. Are you taking revenge on me? I'm a very fair person. The way people treat me is the way I treat them. If you're looking for my help, then I'm sorry. I've never claimed to be a good person. Then why did you help her? We've known each other since we were children. Why isn't the person you like me? I find peace with Taylor." Kiara grabbed his arm. "Liam, please, think about it. If we're together, there will be so many benefits. Our two companies can work together. What can she give you? I don't need a woman who is overly ambitious. I need someone who cares about my feelings, about whether I've eaten, whether I've slept well. Not someone who is always scheming and fighting to get ahead." Liam pushed her away. She clung to him again. This time, he didn't hold back. He shoved her forcefully and walked away. Business at the company was good. His assistant reported the latest revenue figures. He nodded, satisfied. "I can support you for the rest of your life now," he murmured to himself. His assistant overheard and smiled. "When will we be invited to your wedding, sir?" "It won't be long now." After work, Liam stopped by a flower shop. He wanted to buy a beautiful bouquet for Taylor. When he got home, he saw her cleaning up the bakery. There was a small, exquisitely decorated cake in the display case. It didn't look like it was for sale. "Are you going somewhere tonight?" he asked. His informal tone caught her off guard. She didn't know how to respond. "I'm older than you," he said, noticing her hesitation. "It's strange for us to be so formal. If my father heard us, he certainly wouldn't be pleased." "Yes, sir," she stammered. He pointed to the cake. And what about that? Taylor blushed. I saved it for you. She had seen the bouquet in his hand, but didn't think it was for her. It was only when he held it out to her that she realized, for you? You bought this? For me? Yes. I haven't congratulated you yet on your successful start. I'm sure things will only get better from here. I hope so. Liam parked the car and helped her carry her things inside. The feeling of coming home to her, waiting for him, was a sweet, indescribable warmth. The small cake was decorated in his favorite colors. She cut it in half and gave him a piece. It's a new recipe. Try it and see if it's good. He took a bite. The cream was light and melted in his mouth. The cake was moist and flavorful. It's delicious, he said, nodding. You're going to win over everyone's taste buds with this. Really? I told you. It's delicious. Taylor smiled, a wide, genuine smile. Liam couldn't resist reaching out and stroking her head. Autumn is coming soon, he said, his voice soft. It's the season for weddings. The smile on Taylor's face slowly faded. Yes, I've found the woman I like, he continued. She couldn't smile anymore. A whirlwind of emotions churned within her. Do you want to be my bride? Taylor was stunned. She stared at him, her eyes wide. He didn't know when the right time to say it would be. He didn't have the patience to wait for the perfect moment. I want us to be husband and wife. She liked him too, but she couldn't bring herself to nod. The gap between them was too vast. He could easily find someone better, someone more deserving. She took a step back. He looked up at her. We're not suitable for each other. Why not? I asked you before what suitable means. Now, you tell me, in what way are we not suitable? I'm just an ordinary girl. To me, you've never been ordinary. I'm not worthy of you. You've never been in love before, but Liam pulled her into his arms. You foolish girl. As long as we're sincere, this love will be our first love. I don't care about the past. I only care about the present. Their eyes met. The distance between them closed. And in that kiss, all her doubts and fears melted away. How beautiful it is when the person you love loves you back. Liam had been by her side through her darkest days, until she had built a small career for herself. He had never broken a single promise. Their love was simple, pure, without any calculations or self-interest. It was sweet, warm, and gentle. Liam went with Taylor back to her hometown to bring her parents' memorial tablets to his house. It was something that had weighed on her mind every night. When it was finally done, she cried for a long time. She had no parents, so she asked her uncle and aunt to represent her family when they decided to get married. To repay the money Taylor had given him, Liam bought her gold jewelry as a wedding gift. He wanted to give her the very best of everything. That was true love. On their wedding day, she was radiant in a white dress. He stood beside her in a black suit. They were a perfect match. They walked down the aisle, surrounded by the blessings of their friends and family. To some, the wedding might have seemed rushed, but they had been together for over a year. It wasn't a long time, but it was long enough to know each other well. After the wedding, they didn't go on a honeymoon. They focused on their new, larger bakery. Their business was about to take off. She was still the same, waking up early, cleaning the house. Before, she was an employee. Now, she was building a home. The work was the same, but her mindset was different. Her circumstances had changed, but she had not. The rich, fragrant aroma of pho woke Liam up. He got ready and went downstairs. What are you making, wife? He asked, wrapping his arms around her from behind, resting his head on her shoulder. You should have slept in a little longer. I was going to make breakfast for you. We could have eaten out. You're always so tired, working so hard. You should rest. I can't. I promise to cherish and build this family, and I will keep that promise. Taylor gave Liam a taste of the broth. Her small gestures of affection always moved him. Is the seasoning right? Everything you cook is always delicious. Taylor smiled. I'm glad you like it, but I think there's something you'll like even more. Before she could react, he kissed her. His arms tightened around her, his kiss fierce, passionate. The world around them faded away. Taylor couldn't escape, even though she saw him every day. Her heart still beat wildly in her chest. Liam whispered in her ear, his voice thick with emotion. I love you. When one door closes, another one opens. Suffering forges the soul, making it stronger. And one day, you will meet the person who will truly love you, who will truly shelter you,